walks into the shack, she won't even talk. She just gives me hand signals.
The universal sign of peace?
Yeah.
Hey, it's your call sign.
You know, I've been married 43 years, and I have a foolproof way to keep my wife quiet. Just bring her down into the radio room when I'm on the air.
You have solved the seventh wonder of the world.
Well, if she knows it's you, Tim, or...
Yeah. Now, Marcy gets on the microphonium from time to time, but then there's many times she has to come in the room. She just gives me the sign to drop the carrier. She doesn't want people to know that she's in the room. As time goes on, she's been more and more private about things, and most of the time she just does not want to get near the microphonium, no matter who, no matter what.
Well, my wife has like a little girl's voice, and I think she's embarrassed by it. She doesn't want it broadcast over the air. I think it's a sweet voice, but she thinks it sounds terrible.
I don't think so. She does have a sweet voice.
She does.
You tell her I said so.
I'll do that.
All right. Well, I'm going to switch gears. Hey, Frank, did you hear my radio any better?
I was hearing it good before, Tim. Sure, I'm hearing you okay.
Yeah, you're rolling it now. I decided to switch to the array.
Out to the strength meter the whole time, but you're doing fine. I'm copying you real good. I've got a 10-2 copy on you there. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, 10-2, old man. 10-4.
Yeah, 10-4 on that, good buddy.
Oh yeah, the good buddy lingo.
Oh, you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. You know what I love? People on DMR, on these digital modes that have very little to do with RF a lot of times. They're giving people 5.9 reports and getting QSL cards. Can you believe it?
God. I've been on DMR a couple of times. I have a DMR radio that was given to me. Problem is that the various DMR sites require me to have an outside. Most of the time I'm sitting here in the lazy bastard recliner. It's just a wholly different mentality. I've run into all kinds of people that I normally am talking on 75
Well, me too. I enjoy the digital modes. I just don't understand the QSLs and the 5.9 reports. I think a lot of the new hams don't even know what 5.9 means. You know, the RST reports and stuff like that. They just say it. You know, like it's just. I've got a good copy on you. That's what 5.9 means.
I'm about to call you.
Okay, I'm ready. Let me SDI. Go into the phone.
I hear you okay. That should be good enough.
Yep.
5.9's easy because after the programs that called setup is too, so you just tick the box if you're logged in. It makes it a lot easier. K1 GT.
artist, the Invisible Man.
I see myself every day, really.
No, you don't exist. You do not exist. How you doing, Alan? Long time. 20
I just don't. If I can't sit down for more than 10, 15 minutes, I don't even bother sending the salesman around.
And I pushed off. Yep.
Timmy, is Marcy going to be on with us tonight?
Written any good books lately?
The last one was about 4 years ago. It was an e-book only.
I don't see the e-books they want because I don't want to give them I try to think of
Tarmac. I like the e-book because one, it costs nothing to publish. You don't have to deal with publishers, and 100% of the proceeds. Well, not 100%. About 98% of the proceeds goes to the author.
I agree. You got a little too much audio. Back or down, ball, back or down. Now I'm hearing the hissing and hissing sounds of the rate of things protesting from not being used. That's what she said.
Speaking of cards being stolen, it's really no big deal. Everybody gets their card, so mine's been hacked at least 3 times. I've never lost a dime. It's just the inconvenience of calling your bank and saying, all right, I've got all these charges that I didn't make. They pay you back for them, or they never charge you for them, and they issue you a new card. So it's no big deal. It's just the cost of doing business with your credit card. They get hacked regardless if you use them online or not. Tom K1JJ tells a story about he was in Colorado or someplace like that in a gas station, never took his credit card out of his pocket, never took it out of his wallet. I think he paid cash for whatever purchase he bought, and his credit card got hacked in that garage, and maybe somebody had a credit card reader or something, so there's no getting away from it. If you own a credit card, it's going to get hacked.
I've been lucky.
guess there are readers that will read the magnetic strip. All they gotta do is get close to it. The chip was supposed to get rid of that, but all the cards still have strips on them, and if the chip doesn't work, you just run the strip through. So I don't know what that accomplished.
Yeah, just wrap the card in the aluminum foil when you're not using it.
Yeah, you doubled with Tim. Jim, you can buy wallets that supposedly are RF shielded, and you can't they can't read your strip through these wallets.
Yeah, I know. You do the same thing if you wrap it in the aluminum foil.
Well, I think people are gonna look at you kind of weird if you pull out your credit card, start unwrapping, aluminum foil. I'd rather have a discreet wallet that is, read-proof.
Well, that costs money, You get a candy bar that you've consumed and save the wrapper and just wrap up your credit card with it.
Well, all the more reasons to use cash. They can't hack cash.
Exactly, and that's what I like to do. Use cachez-vous, s'il vous plaît. Yeah, well, I haven't experienced that yet. Yeah, I haven't either. I know. That many of them. This WA1H are yellow.
Headed to the command center.
In other words, he has to drain his log, recycle the beer. So anyway, Alan, it's good to hear you on. I was almost going to pick up the telephone the other day and just catch up with you. I imagine you still have to put in the normal full day's work and all that. How does this whole scenario impact you?
like the VJB birds. See, Paul, that's the problem with audio clarity. Is you can hear everything.
I found there's a number of lean stores. We've got the single company store where you can get ethanol lean. That's what I did. Made up some chainsaw lean and used that in the lawn mower last year. Something particularly strange like that this Sunday. I could have sworn I put a lean in the tank of it. I don't really do one we bought. Here it's ridiculous. And I said, well, I got to pull this thing out of the shed, put it on the ground, pull it or start it up and run it dry after you got to chip the thing up to pour the lean out of the tank into a funnel and then into a containment vessel. Well, I opened things up and there's no lean. I don't know where it went. It just is gone. And I hear Kittikins the Shat mewing away. He probably wants out. He's the Shat. You want to go in? I want to go out. This WA1H yellow. Dig out a rerun for that one, but I imagine as far as little transmitters are concerned, you probably still have the old PBA 10. Well, I got something similar to the PBA 10. This is a single 6L6. The 6J5 is a Crapstel oscillator, and a single 6L6 is the modulator, and a carbonium microphonium input. Well, after I replaced a couple of things and tweaked it, I got it working. It takes about 10 months. But it didn't have any push-to-talk circuit or anything. It was really Neanderthal the way the thing worked. But now I've got it to change over with receiver muting and all that kind of thing. I don't have that part plumbed in. It's temporarily hooked up in here driving the going with that plutonium, I've got sandpaper audio.
It's going to happen in 18 minutes on 3885.
All right. That's right.
On the left, I have carbonium, microphonium, the carbonium, microphonium, QSO.
And hello to Brian, if that's Brian out there.
Hey, Clark, what's going on?
Hey, Clark, did this thing clean up?
Yes, it sounds plain business.
Perfect. Thank you.
Oh, look at that. They're all getting dapper. They're putting their antennas in the appropriate place and polishing up their signals. All for the ladies. Gotta admire it.
KC2UFU.
Good evening.
Good evening. How does this thing sound? Hello, radio.
Sounds good. Strong signal down this way, but it's doing what it's supposed to do. I hear you. Do you hear me?
I hear you.
Okay, Alan, we'll see when you're later. There's an event that happens now at 7 o'clock bunch of young lady or female radio operators have gone together and play only at 75. Pretty interesting. It's definitely a different take on playing out with the ham radio. It's new blood in things and lead in everybody's pencil. So I'll see you later. I gotta go.
What?
Make a couple phone calls and good to hear you in there, and I can hear stuff going on underneath. Of course, you're 90 over 9 here. I'll see you later. KA1CZC and over to regular amateur radio usage here from WA1H Yellow.
7-3, Tim. Have a great evening.
Fine business, old man.
Have Marcy be back.
Take care of the kids now, huh?
You gotta put Marcy on the air, Tim.
I guess we gotta go take care of the kids.
Or do other things.
Good to hear everyone on here tonight. Good signals all the way around.
See you, Steve. K1ET.
Hey there, Mr. Rooney.
Be there, Carrie.
Carrie.
All right, let's lady it up. I'm back and ready to rock and roll. W3MMR.
All right, good to know.
You're not going to do much rock and rolling because the chicks are taking over the frequency.
Oh, I know. Ladies' Night Part 2.
So, are we doing Ladies' Night on 3885? I just want to make sure I'm tuning things up over here. This is K3FEF. It ain't the boys. It's W3TKP, and I'm going to get her on the air.
That's right, boys. Get that equipment nice and tuned up and shiny. Ken wants to know if you have the camera running, Paul.
Paul is trying to find some more lighter fluid and then make sure he stands far enough back when he sprays it on the open fire.
Nice. Do I sound all right, Clark? My new setup here?
You sound marvelous. Actually, you've got a 30 over signal, and I thought that the band was going away until you keyed up, and that I had to turn down the RF gain. Hey, Paul, that flare-up would really do a number on your brand-new haircut. Just think twice before you give the can a big squeeze.
Where'd you get your haircut?
Who?
Carrie.
Me? Where do I get my haircut? Is that what you said?
Oh, Clark said you had a brand new haircut. I was wondering, where'd you get your haircut? Maybe you guys are open up down there in that part of the world. Now, up here in Massachusetts, we still have the chains on, as Joe Biden would say.
No. Paul VJB down in Maryland has got a haircut, and his wife Pam did it. He's the one playing around with the barbecue grill and the lighter fluid, and I'm cautioning him to be careful so as he does not have a flare-up ruining his brand new haircut.
Oh, never mind.
I'm going to send you a
Rich,
program guide for the show tonight.
Taking on the new fashion. It's called ladies wearing baseball caps because we don't have a choice.
I'm get the ponytail on. New Rona do.
Yes, it's my Rona do. Exactly. It's the new thing. And everybody seems to be getting on the bandwagon because when I did venture out to the store the other day, there seemed to be a large selection of ladies' hats. I was like, well, I guess we're all in the same boat.
I've noticed the big problem here is hairs growing out of the back of the ear. It's a genetic issue I have to deal with.
You're not alone.
Yeah, but you guys have it way easier than we do. I mean, if worse comes to worse, you just shave your head and you can completely walk around like that. I don't really know if anybody would like me kicking around a Sinead O'Connor,
You never know.
Carrie, you probably wouldn't look bad, actually. But, what's much worse, guys got to deal with a whole separate set of problems. So I had to do a video conference call, and the sun was coming in just the right angle, and was illuminating the hairs growing off the back of my ears, and I'm thinking, oh, my God, this is embarrassing. So, needless to say, my buzzer in the bathroom has become the best tool to take care of problems like that.
Hey, why don't you have Tanya pluck them?
No. And she would. She does sometimes, but no. So painful.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Don't be a sissy. I've seen you guys cut yourselves, light yourselves on fire. Ken comes in all the time dripping blood everywhere because he didn't even realize that he cut himself working on something. How bad could it possibly hurt?
I'm afraid to comment on that, actually. It depends what time of day I get her. If she does it early in the morning, it's fine. If she's had a few drinks and she goes at it, oh, that's a problem.
Oh, perhaps a subject to explore. Oh, I know my son one time, one of his girlfriends, she was waxing her legs or whatever, and for whatever reason, he made some kind of sideways comment or whatever, and her and my niece tackled him to the ground and stuck a big, thing of wax to his leg or whatever with the paper, and had no choice but to get it torn off. Boy, did he scream.
Mike, those motorized garden shears do have a label on it that says not for scalp use.
Well, she does so well with them at gardening and taking care of the shrubs and whatnot, I guess she figured it would just work. But just to give you all a heads up, I didn't realize what time it was or how late it was because the sun's been, up longer now. So Tanya's just wrapping up dinner. She's making sticky chicken with sesame seeds and rice and stuff. It's really delicious. So we're going to eat and then, or maybe eat and then come in here, or maybe both, but not chew on the air, that's for sure. So, just wanted to make sure. So I guess we're doing this on 3885. And and I'm going to be back probably in about 45 minutes if I had to guess. So hopefully this is all still going on.
We'll be here. Don't you worry. The band will behave because I said so.
Well, I'll tell you, everybody sounds really nice tonight, and I'm not hearing a lot of lightning crashes, so that's a good thing.
Okay. The next 60 seconds are for tune-ups only. All stations trying to tune up now within the next 60 seconds. After that, find another frequency. KB3WFZ.
Actually, I should do that just to make sure. See? Look at that. At 10 kilohertz makes quite a big difference. Let's see. Checking the efficiency on the E-rig. Oh yeah, we're good.
This is WA3VJB.
Here she is. My Paul, you're sounding wonderful this evening.
And, yep, tune-up time's over, so any other tune-up from here on out, find another frequency. Thank you for your cooperation. KB3WFZ.
W2PHL.
We're having steak on the grill that we finished up, London broil. Got some asparagus. Ooh, boy. Cooked in oil? Is it cooked in oil?
Yeah, cooked in olive oil.
Okay. And Pam's got a nice salad that she's put the steak on there, strips of steak. And suitable adult beverage. What kind of wine is that?
Let's see. What's a white wine? I don't know what kind it is. It's from New Zealand. That's all I can say. It's good. It's white.
Okay. And I'm having a Smith's Organic Chocolate Ale. So we're all set, Gary. KC2 UFU. WA3 VJB.
W3MMR. Still here.
All very good, Paul and Miss Pam. Sounds like you guys are having a good dinner and a nice adult beverage. I like that, Pam. And I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. It's good, and it does the trick.
W2PHL.
Well, hello, Phil.
Hey, Carrie. Carrie. Gosh, everybody messes me up. I know your name is Carrie. Phil here, W2PHL. Jennifer is going to be with us in a few minutes. She made a delightful spaghetti carbonara, which I am pairing with a lovely Chianti. So we'll be around in a little bit. W2PHL. We're looking for part 2 this evening.
Awesome. Sounds like everybody got good eats. Yeah, they got burgers. They got burgers and tater tots with our finest iced tea.
Nice choice of wine there, Hannibal.
You know, it's Italians. You know where we're coming from, right, Rich?
Yes, I do.
Wow, big crowd. We got a mouthful of pasta. I'll be listening.
Whiskey 3, Oscar Hotel.
Well, hello, Dave.
Hey, John. Dave.
Hello, Carrie, and I did not recognize the other voice. I'll have to wait for a call sign and name there. Carrie, Karen should be joining us here in a few minutes.
Absolutely. The band's going to be what it is. It's going to move around a little bit, I think, but we'll be fine. And, of course, the ladies are getting ready. That's just what they do. Doesn't matter, you know. We're only going from one room to another. We still have to get ready. So, no timer on it. No big deal. Everybody gets here when they get here. That's what it's all about. Just sitting back, relaxing and, you know, torturing our husbands. You know, it's fun.
Can I play the theme song just for 10 seconds? I know it's totally against FCC regulations, but just to hear it.
Go for it.
All right, here we go. 3885 Ladies Night Saturday. You're listening to K3FEF in Milford, Pennsylvania, and we just gotta play the intro.
That's right. Getting ready to go.
You know, that's actually a great song. I remember the 80s when I was into roller disco, and I was a skate guard at a very popular roller rink in New York City, and it's still a great song. So we're probably going to crank it up for a while. Like I said, Tanya's still cooking dinner, so we won't be back on for a little bit, but just wanted to make sure everything was functional here.
Just to let everyone know who may be listening, Ladies Night Part 2 is live streaming on YouTube, and you'll be able to find the recording of Ladies Night on YouTube as well. Go to youtube.com/users/PerryM004 or search the AM window on YouTube, and we're also streaming on Twitch. At the AM or twitch.tv/the AM window, and on Facebook if you're friends on Facebook with me. But the easiest way to find it, I guess, would be on YouTube. So search the AM window on YouTube, and you'll find the first live video there. Ladies Night Part 2, Ladies Take Over 80-meter AM ham radio. Good luck, guys, and I'm going to sit back and shut up and enjoy the show. W3MMR.
Wow, we're all going to be famous.
There you go, Clark. I answered your question.
Yes, you did. N1BCG, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Clark. Kilowatt 1 Golf Tango X-Ray.
Hello, Clark. Whiskey 3 Oscar Hotel. Hello, Perry. Victor Bill. And Elon.
Hello, Dave and co.
All right, it's getting to be about that time. We got 1 minute to go before Ladies' Night officially starts. Anybody jump? Is there ready? If you're still chewing your dinner, that's okay. No big deal. There we are. 7 p.m. It's officially Ladies' Night. This is KC2UFU. Wondering who all the ladies are out there this evening. So, let's see who's out there, who's shaking. I know for a fact that Miss Lisa's out there. Is down there in Maryland. So let's see if she's ready to get up to the microphone there and say hello. It's KC2UFU.
Hi, Carrie. Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing today?
I think we all enjoyed the beautiful weather. So, I know I did some gardening today. I took a nap so that I make sure I could be nice and fresh for here. It's a little too long, but that's okay. That's why they got burgers. I don't have time to make steak, but that's okay. They'll eat whatever I put out there, so. So Miss Lisa is here, and let's see. Dave, is Miss Karen there on the microphone?
No, it must be running late. She's probably getting her beverage together. I guess I'll have to go check on her.
That's okay. Don't rush her. Don't. It's not supposed to be stressful. And especially if she's making a beverage. I mean, that's pretty important there. Okay, let's see. Is Mrs. PHL Light on the frequency? This is KC2UFU.
Yes, I am. Good evening, Carrie. I just want to give a shout out to my darling husband whose birthday is today. The reason I was making the spaghetti carbonara. We will be having birthday cake soon, so...
It's a party.
Good evening to everyone. Hope everyone's well.
Oh boy, Phil's gonna have a sugar rush. Ooh, spaghetti carbonara. That's Phil's favorite dish. It's funny how we always do that. Just like birthday's coming around, and it's like, oh, let's see, what are we gonna make? Ken's a steak guy. He likes steak. And so Miss Jennifer is here, and let's say hello to Mrs. VJB. Hello, Miss Pam. Are you there? KC2UFU.
Hey there. Yep, this is Pam from WA3VJB. And, yeah, we just finished dinner. I was afraid that we were going to be chewing our last bites while we were talking, but we just finished up. We're battling some kind of gnats out here. We're sitting out on the deck, which is like the first time we've done it this season, maybe the first or second time. And we're battling some kind of gnats, but that's okay because we both have a nice beverage here.
Citronella candle, do you mean?
Oh, yeah. I bought a brand new citronella candle, but it doesn't seem to be working very well. As a matter of fact, these little gnats are going right to it. They like it, yeah. Anyways, birthday wish, happy birthday out there, and hope everyone is doing well.
What's up, KC2UFU?
KC2UFU, this is WA3VJB.
And WX3K chiming in.
There she is. Very good, Pam. That's good you got to finish everything up. And yes, with summer comes bugs. We love the warm weather and we love everything else about it. But the bugs I could live without, that's for sure. Turn it over to Miss Stephanie, W3XK, in the group for Ladies Night, KC2UFU. Good evening.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I'm zonked. I have a beverage here. Good evening to everyone. Hello, out there in Radio Land. It's caffeine free. It's mango hibiscus. It's a brewed herbal tea. I'm not, no coffee today. Didn't have any coffee today. Didn't have any of the other type beverages, so I'm trying this tonight. I need a system purge. Trying to clear my head. It was an intense week, and today was wonderful. I got outside, took the top off the Jeep, and I just drove. And I felt the sun on my face, and I did some hiking, and I feel so much better. So I hope everyone did get a chance to get outside.
Yes, we all need our vitamin D, that's for sure. It's amazing how much a little sunshine can change, and especially when you have a stressful week and you just need to decompress. I had a especially stressful week as well, working from home, but it's just one of those weeks, trying to figure out, how they can possibly run our company, our store, with Memorial Day right here in a area that is, we have beaches and a lot of attractions or whatever, and they're starting to open everything up, and we have a feeling that a lot of people are not going to adhere to the regulations and stuff. So we've been kind of putting our heads together trying to figure out how we can have Memorial Day at our store and not actually open the doors. As of right now, we've been just serving everybody through the windows and stuff. But being a hardware and lumber store, people want to come in, and they get a little antsy as to why we won't let them in. But we need to keep our people safe. So that's good. You have your beverage, and you had the top off the Jeep, and some well-needed recharging of your battery. Let's see who else is with us. KC2UFU. Is that you, Shelby? Ah, Priscilla. I didn't hear it first. K1 GTX. Better half, of course. Had a good week, and just looking forward to this evening and getting all the ladies together again. And band's a little interesting this evening. Not quite as good as we had it last time, but that's okay. We're women, and we will persevere, and we will make it bend to our will. So we have Miss Priscilla at the CTX household. And is there any other ladies on the frequency that would like to join in? KC2UFU. Okay. So we'll see who else. We'll check in again and see who else joins in. I know Mike and Tanya are not wanting to chew on the radio, and I completely understand that. So I was thinking about, what we could possibly talk about on the radio, and not, not try to beat our significant others up too much. So I was curious as to some of the favorite things in your area where you live, because when I'm on the radio and I'm talking to the guys and I'm talking about where they live, like maybe I've never been to New Hampshire or something like that, or their area where they live, and I'm always like, what's there to do later off or whatever. And almost every time, I don't know, it's like a deep off, and I disconnect all the audio lines and I'm still humming. Whatever. Who was that out there? This is W2BTK. Yeah, with the good phonetics. Billy the Kid is what it was supposed to be. And then I made the call. I didn't even up there and do as a lady, going to a nice restaurant is always fun, but I know you. Blind, torture, kill, born to kill, bring 10 kilowatts. I don't know.
Well, obviously, whoever said that doesn't know.
What's a must-see and a must-do in the area that you live in. So let me turn it over to Miss Lisa and see what there is to do there in the great state of Maryland where she lives. And now I've just lost Brian's call, which I know I say it all the time. And I can't remember it. Lisa, you know who you are.
KB3WFV. Here, there's lots to do here. Shoot boating, fishing, water skiing. Got DC to roam in, all those museums and everything. There's lots to do around here. So, and you've got theaters you could go to and everything. So there's a lot. I think there's choices for everyone and everyone's liking.
What's your favorite thing to do in your area?
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Well. I'm not sure. I mean, I like the theater, so I do like to go to some shows. And I just like I guess hanging around with some of the friends and family that we know. Out over. Sometimes we go over to a harbor or whatever, and outside and have dinner and drinks, and it's nice.
That does sound nice. A lot of variety. I like theater too. That's one of my favorite things. They actually, before all this happened, and everything went crazy, I was actually fortunate enough. The boys for Christmas had bought me tickets to go see Phantom of the Opera on Broadway, which I've been to a lot of different small theaters and stuff, but never to Broadway, to the big theaters. And Phantom of the Opera is definitely one of my all-time favorite musical productions. So that sounds like a lot of fun. We'll have to put that on the bucket list, Lisa, when I come to visit. That's what I'm really doing. I'm finding out what you guys all do down there, and then I'm just going to pop over for some tea or some wine, and then we get to go do some fun stuff.
Tell her call her cookie because she love it raw.
Let's see if Miss
She
Aaron
love it raw.
is here yet.
See, I'm a demon. Why was I summoned dog?
3OH from KC2U.
Hi, Carrie. This is Whiskey 3 Oscar Hotel. I apologize for being late. Dave is
a little bit hot, so I'm going to get off the key. I got to stick this air handler on the thing, get a little more duty cycle. I don't have enough airflow right now for this thing. It's a YC-156 tube, iMac tube. W2BTK on Montana Mountain in New Jersey.
Yeah, he's actually... And I'm supposed to say how much I really enjoy my new mic for Brian that Dave set up for me. I refused to speak into it until he readjusted the size of it. But to answer your questions, Carrie, I think you've been asking about favorite things to do in this area. We have lots of outdoorsy stuff going on here in Calvert County. Personally, my favorite thing to do is run. Well, I say run, but I mean jog because I don't run for speed. But I earned another medal yesterday. I did the Baltimore 10-miler virtual run since it couldn't be done in person. So that's always fun for me. But yeah, lots of stuff to do outside here in Calvert County. It's a somewhat of a rural area. I grew up in Baltimore County, but definitely as a city girl. So when Dave moved me down here to Calvert County, it was a bit of an adjustment. But I do like it. I just miss that there aren't any sidewalks, especially for running. No sidewalks or curbs. You just, if you miss the street, you fall off into the grass or the ravine. But all is good. So how have you been, Carrie?
I've been good. So what you're saying is it's a little dangerous to run in Calvert County.
Yes, just a little, but I get used to the crazies that are on the road, and I can see them coming ahead of time, and
I was about
just kind of jot off to the left a little.
12 or 13 years old, my parents moved down here. I was actually from northern New Jersey, and I was used to going to sleep at night with, the sound of, we had Teterboro Airport. We were right in the flight path of Teterboro Airport, and Newark Airport wasn't that far away. So my lullabies were the sounds of, 747s, and we had a highway right across the street of us, so the sounds of Jake brakes and, trucks going by at all times of night or whatever. So I remember it being quite an adjustment coming from the city, especially when you're in the city and you lived kind of on a postage stamp property where you could pretty much, reach out the window and your neighbor could reach out their window and you guys could pass the salt back and forth because you guys were so close together. So it is a bit of an adjustment, for sure. But I'm doing great, and happy everybody is here this evening. Let's send it over to Miss Jennifer at the PHL household, and then we will send it to Pam over at the VJB household. So, what do you like to do in your area, Jennifer? What's fun to do? What do the ladies like to go out and do?
Hi, Terry. Well, I'm like the ladies. Well, one of the things we're lucky here in New York City. We literally live like less than 2 miles from the Bronx Zoo. So we love going to the Bronx Zoo. We've been going there since our children were little. Our firstborn was maybe 6 months old. I was pushing the strollers during the summertime, so that's a wonderful thing. I love the Met. So we go down there. My husband was nice enough to buy us a membership about a year ago for my birthday, so that was really nice. I'm not the runner Karen is, but I do 5Ks, 10Ks, no more than a half marathon. But there's a running path between Chelsea Piers and Battery Park that goes past the Freedom Tower, which is just beautiful. In the summertime, I try to go there once a week. A lot of times it's a little icy, but I really love to do that. It's just beautiful down there. I'm hoping to go tomorrow. So we're lucky, though, here. Just so much to do and just so many different places to go. And of course, when you're with the hubby, there's always eating is always involved. I will say that there's always a restaurant that's always involved in those excursions.
Excursions? Is that what
Excursions.
More apropos.
No cake for you. Yes, I'm just.
Oh, look at me. That's good. I got that. KCTUFU, WCTU.
Oh, very good. You guys are so adorable. You really are. You ever notice they kind of, if my husband volunteers to go somewhere with me, it's always like there's always an alternative, ulterior motive. That's what I'm trying to say. If I'm going, into town or whatever like that, and it happens to be somewhere that there's a good place to eat, I always seem to be able to coax him to go like, oh, well, he's not a big shopper. And I'll be like, well, if I go over to Michael's or something like that, the craft store or whatever, I'm like, there's that really good place to eat right next door or right down the street or whatever. And before you know it, I got him in the car, and he's happy knowing that once I'm done with my shopping, we're going to go get some food. So that's one way to get him to come out with me. Of course, as long as he's driving. Because if I'm driving, then, that's a whole nother thing. So, over to Miss Pam at the VJB household. What do you do over there in Annapolis, KC2UFU?
Yeah, so WA3 VJB here. This is Pam. Lots to do in Annapolis. I think Maryland in general, there's you go from the mountains, like up in Cumberland, to Annapolis, to Ocean City, the beaches, which is really nice. So, but I'm a runner also. It sounds like there's a few runners here. I was very, very disappointed in that the A10, or the Annapolis 10-miler, has been canceled in August. But lots of great places to run here. My running buddy, who is also our veterinarian, we run every weekend. And we always try to find a great place to run, along the water or whatever. Go over to the Naval Academy a lot. It's a great place to run. And then, of course, downtown Annapolis, there are just so many great restaurants, so many great places to shop. I love all the, actually, Paul calls them chick shops. He calls them those, smelly, tight-fitting little chick shops that, although he'll go into them with me, but he's like, when I look at his face, he can't wait to leave. As soon as he gets in there, he just wants to turn around because the smells are usually overwhelming. And you ladies know what I mean. They're usually these great smelling candles or lotions and potions and that kind of thing. And he just hates it all. He hates it. But anyway, so yeah, that's an excursion that I usually do by myself or with a couple of friends. Lots of really cool shopping, in Annapolis. And so yeah, that's what I do. I mean, since we've had the kids, and in our case, the kids are our dogs. In particular, the most recent dog, Lab Rescue, that we got. We've been hanging out kind of close to the house. Haven't been doing many excursions, but yeah, I love to get out with my gal friends and do things in Annapolis and farmers markets, flea markets, that kind of thing. Lots of those kinds of things to do around here.
Very good. Sounds like a fun place to be. And yes, the smelly shops. That's what Ken calls them. Paul calls them chick shops. Ken's like, oh, you're going into the smelly shop. I think I'll stay in the car or do whatever. You know what it is that taking them shopping, like, if you can't find something that they'll be interested in, it's really like taking a perpetual 3-year-old shopping and expecting them not to touch stuff. I know if Ken does venture into the store with me, he'll be looking at something, like trying to figure it out. What is this? It'll be like a aromatic diffuser or something like that or whatever. And he's like, what could you possibly, what do I do with this? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Chick stuff. So, sounds like a lot of fun. Let's see if Miss Tanya is done with her dinner and ready to join us here. The household of FEF. Are you guys here on the air? KC2UFU.
I just had to chew really fast. We're still eating here. Tanya's laughing in the background, though. Yeah, she just finished dinner, so we're just wrapping up here. She'll probably say hello in a little bit.
Okay, sounds good. So let's send it over to Miss Stephanie and tell us, what do you do out there? I know some of the things you do, but the other ladies may not. But what's fun to do out there in Pennsylvania?
OUK broke in.
Yes, I heard her too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it KB3 OUK? I think so. Go ahead, it's KC2UFU.
Yeah, I try to jump in there, and I'm Sarah. I'm using my husband's call sign tonight, and a little late getting to the party. My in-laws dropped in at the last minute. We were waiting on them, and I said to Shelby, yeah, they'll probably come right as ladies' night is starting. But they just left a little bit ago, and I was trying to, I don't like to interrupt when everybody's on the air, so I was just trying to wait my turn, but I'm here, and Shelby's here, and my daughter is watching TV. Hopefully that'll keep her occupied for a while. And I'm really excited you guys are having another ladies' night, KB3 OUK.
Oh, we're glad to have you here with us, Miss Sarah. And where's the little one?
She's out in the living room watching Lawrence Welk.
Lawrence Welk. Interesting.
Yeah, she likes the music. We've discovered she likes Lawrence Welk. She likes the dancing, some of the tap dancing, stuff like that. She likes the Flintstones, and yeah, she's, I don't sit her down in front of it all day, but sometimes it entertains her, and so that works for me.
Well, whatever works, and it's much better than the Teletubbies or Barney or any Blue's Clues and any other thing that I had to suffer through when my kids were little. I would have much rather watched Lawrence Welk. Never even thought of that. Good. Glad she's entertained. And like I said, don't worry about being late. Everybody's kind of doing their thing, so we're all just kind of getting to know each other and talk about. We were discussing what's fun to do in your area. So, what do you like to do where you live, Sarah?
Well, really here, we live in the middle of nowhere. There's not a whole lot to do. Even like when Shelby and I were dating, we didn't really most people when they're dating, they go out and have dinner and a movie and stuff. We never really seem to do that. We just kind of would go to ham fests or family stuff or whatever. We didn't do the typical couple stuff. We were just kind of weird. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I'm getting into the radio stuff. And now with having a baby, that takes up a lot of time. But there's not a whole lot.
Probably, not probably. I do get a lot of wind.
Like Shelby and I will go. Well, we'll go to flea markets. We haven't done it since the baby was born, but we'll go to tractor shows. But we like to get in the car and we'll go get a milkshake and then drive around and at dusk and then see if we can find deer. Because we know where there's spots where deer come out, and I don't know. I'm kind of a nerd. I like to I like seeing deer and stuff, or sheep or cows or whatever. So we'll just drive around and see. If he comes home from work and he tells me, "Oh, I found a new farm that had sheep that I didn't know about before," that's exciting to me. So, but yeah, around here there's not a whole lot to do. We're just kind of boring people, I guess, but we'll sit on the porch and watch the trucks on the turnpike and see if we see any cool old cars, from back in the 60s or whatever. We saw a old Mustang today, so that was cool. But yeah, we don't really get into a whole lot around here besides the radios and stuff, but that's us. And I have a sheep of my own to look at now, so I'll go outside and talk to him. And it's funny, I have a German Shepherd that lives outside, and then I have the sheep, and between the two of them, I feel very well protected around here. KB3, UK.
Well, that actually sounds fantastic to me, to be able to go out, take a drive around sunset, and go see all the farms and everything like that. That sounds wonderful and relaxing. Might sound not exciting to you, but to me, I would love that. I'm in I live right outside of Long Beach Island, which is like a hub for very touristy area. So it's nice. We have the beaches and stuff like that. Although I think I probably actually physically go to the beach maybe once a year to actually go sit on the beach, because I refuse to go into the ocean because it terrifies me. I'll go in a boat. I will not walk into the water. I think I've watched Jaws too many times as a kid or something. I don't know. But we also are fortunate to have the Pine Barrens here, which we like to do a lot of trail riding. Ken has a big lifted truck, and my boys have lifted trucks, and we'll take a trail ride out into the woods and go to different spots. And I like to do photography sometimes. So, you can always get some really nice shots out there in the middle of nowhere. So that sounds like a lot of fun, Sarah. I would actually really enjoy doing that. Let's see. What do you do in Pennsylvania there, Miss Stephanie?
This is WX3K here in Pennsylvania. The southern edge of Monroe County, southern Poconos, as I say. Well, I lead somewhat of a boring life. Actually, there's quite a bit to do out here. Not too far away, there's an area in Tannersville where they have all the outlet stores. And, if you're into shopping, I haven't been shopping too much lately. I've been just saving money. But once in a while, I'll brave it and dive into the outlet stores. Some time ago, I got a new jacket, replacement jacket for something that went south on me. And the company actually gave me a reimbursement for the full price and then some. And I'm not commercializing it here on the air, but they have a store in the outlet shopping area. And I found 2 new jackets there, so that was cool. Of course, I'm about 10 minutes away from the Delaware Water Gap Recreation Area, so there's all sorts of stuff to do there, camping and, I like hiking a lot. One of my favorite things to do is, I haven't done it in a while, is hike up to Sunfish Pond, right there in the Gap. Of course, people canoe down the Delaware, and I have done that too myself a couple of times. If you want something a little more glitzy and fun for, going out at night, there's plenty of casinos in this area. One to my south down in Bethlehem, one up here in the Poconos, and then there's one out in Scranton. And of course, it's the wintertime. Everybody knows that
hard for my team. We all about loyalty.
Skiing here in
with
Poconos,
that, then you annoying me.
3,
My
4,
boss scold. I'm
5
fucking
different
royalty. Shout out.
slopes. My favorite is Camelback. I like Camelback and Blue Mountain, which is to the west of me here. And for me, it's about 10, 15 minutes away. I keep myself busy with all sorts of stuff. Like today, on the way into New Jersey, I was noticing how much there was. The parks were totally loaded with people. The park rangers were trying to keep people under control. Everybody's out hiking today. But I like the idea that Sarah had about sitting on the porch and just kind of hanging out. I don't have a porch swing. I don't have really a porch either. But, the idea of a nice, comfortable porch swing, sitting out there with a book on an evening like this where it's comfortable out, that has my vote. It's WX3K. Go ahead, Carrie.
WX3K, KC2UFU. Very good, Stephanie. Sounds beautiful up there too. Everybody's got, wonderful places to go and do. Yeah, I'm still waiting for my porch. It's on Ken's list. About, I think it was now 18 years ago or whatever, we put an addition on the house. We put a second story on the house. And part of the plans was to put a front porch on so that I could have a porch swing, because I love, my sister-in-law lives in North Carolina, and she has a nice wraparound porch with a porch swing, and I used to love to sit out there all the time. And we haven't quite gotten to it yet, so maybe someday we'll get that porch, but that sounds nice and relaxing. And I like to shop, but I'm not a shopper per se. I would rather be out in the woods or fishing or doing something with the boys. If I have to go to the store, that's, the mom stuff they have to do or whatever to be able to keep everybody, fed and clothed and all that. But, it's nice to go to the shops sometimes. But I myself would rather be outdoors. Not much of a runner, but I do like hiking or walking through the woods. I don't know. I think, God gave me like really short little legs, so they're just not built for running. I don't know. And Ken says I run crooked anyway, so I'd probably just run into a tree. So let's see what's going on. The K1GTX household, Miss Priscilla, what do you like to do where you live?
Hi, Carrie. Hi, everybody. There's a lot to do on the Cape, which is where we live. There are beaches, but we don't usually go because beaches are for tourists, and we're not tourists. But I used to go to Martha's Vineyard where my father lived, and I spent a lot of time perusing Edgartown boutiques and just window shopping. That's really fun. I enjoy that. And there were galleries and lots of really nice things to just check out in Edgartown. And then there's Oak Bluffs, which is kind of touristy, but they have one of the world's longest operating carousels. A beautiful merry-go-round with brass rings and everything. And it's fully restored, and it's just gorgeous, and the kids love it, and everybody has a good time there. There's a lot to do in Boston. I like the restaurant Penang, which is an Asian fusion restaurant. It's really good. And the theater is excellent. I used to always go with my parents to the Huntington Theater, where they had a lot of August Wilson plays and lots of good things. I saw Rent at, I think, the Schubert Theater in Boston, and that's one of my favorite musicals of all times. So there's lots to do. I've always been wanting to see Shu Yen or Shen Yun or whatever it is. It's the Asian equivalent of a ballet, but they're very acrobatic and supposed to be really fantastic and phenomenal. I've always wanted to see that. And every year I keep dropping hints to my husband. At least he's listening now. But I really want to see that sometime. So anyway, that's what we like to do here on the Cape. And there's lots of mini golfing. It's a fun family thing to do. Pirates Cove especially is really fun. There's a Pirates Museum called the Witta. And also there's a Pirates mini golfing with a COVID-19 face mask on this giant skull. They always dress it up with various seasonal things, and now they've got a face mask on it. So there's a lot of good things going on here on the Cape. Anyway, back to you, K1GTX's wife.
Oh, very good, Priscilla. It sounds like some fun stuff to do there too. Miniature golfing. Yeah, that's like a hobby of its own. I know there's a lot down here too, because we have a lot of like tourist type areas and stuff like that. So that was always fun to do when the kids were little. So let's see if there is anyone else that wants to check in to Ladies' Night. And let's see first if Miss Tanya is ready to join us. How are we doing over there, Miss Tanya? Okay, she's still eating. Is there anyone else that would like to check into Ladies' Night? This is KC2UFU. Okay. Are you there, Mr. Perry?
Yes, I am here.
How is everybody sounding out to you there?
Everybody sounds fantastic. Everybody's really strong. Everybody's at least 25 to 30 over S9 and sounding good at the OH household, the VJB household, sounding good up on the Cape, sounding good out in East Bumblejabip. Everybody's really sounding great, Carrie. I think we have 4 people watching total of the live streams. No comments as of yet. But nope, everybody's coming in here. Great, Carrie. Go ahead.
It's great. MMR, KC2UFU. Good to know. Everybody's sounding great here as well. And thanks for minding all the recordings and stuff. It's really awesome that you do that for us. Now I have to think about what I was going to say. Oh, I know what it was. I was actually talking to Ken about this yesterday. And we were talking about, ham radio and stuff like that. And we had an incident the other day where we lost power here. And unfortunately, it took out one of the pieces of equipment, the Behringer. And he couldn't get it fixed in time. Well, he tried, so he got something else hooked up here, so it was great. And it's nice that, he takes care of me for whatever projects I have, whether it's ham radio or gardening or anything like that. But Ken and I got into the hobby together. We both got our licenses right around the same time, and we kind of just entered into the amateur radio community as a couple. So as far as having to explain to someone else that I'm a ham radio operator or whatever, my mom, she's a lot of fun, because when I tried to explain to her why we were putting this gigantic antenna on the house and why there was it's ladder line, but she was calling it clothesline. And she's like, why do you have that giant wire clothesline hanging halfway across the yard or whatever? And I was trying to explain to her, what we were doing. So she calls it, no matter what I'm talking about, if I say I'm going to a ham radio event or going to a fest or something like that, she calls it my walkie-talkie conventions. That's what she tells her friends. That's what she tells members, my aunts and uncles or whatever. They ask what I'm up to or whatever. She'll be like, oh, Carrie and Ken, yeah, they went to one of their walkie-talkie conventions or whatever. And whether people actually know what she's talking about or not, I don't know. But I've tried to explain it to her several times, what it is that we do. But everybody kind of has a different take on it. So my question is, and I'll send this over to Miss Lisa over at the WFV household, is how did you find out that your husband was a ham? How did that come about, and what was your reaction to that? Were you fine with it? Were you surprised, or was it just, business as usual? KB3WFV in the group with KC2UFU.
Well, it didn't come as a surprise. I knew he was into radios. He was into the ham when the kids were small and took them even to those field days and everything. I remember that. Oh, yeah, we stayed overnight one time with them. So it just came naturally, but it just built and built and built and really build permanently. But anyways, and because it's always, oh, this is all I want. This is all I want. And then a year later, oh, I really like this. And like I said, it keeps going and building and building. But this is all I want. But that's okay. It's something for him to do. It's fun. He likes it. And sometimes when I go on a trip, and if he's not with me, and I go see my mom or something, and I'm by myself, I miss hearing the radio because I'm so used to hearing the radio. So I guess I'm just used to it, and it just, like I said, just gradually just kept building and building and building. And I'm sure we're still building and building and building. You have no idea.
How do you explain it to other people? You're used to it, but how do you explain it? If somebody asks you, what is that hanging off of your house?
Well, not so much the house. I think he's got it pretty good where, to me, people don't pay attention, which you really have to kind of point it out. But it's when it's on the vehicle, especially when he used to have 2 or 3 antennas. I just started telling people that we were tornado chasers, that's all.
It's much easier than the truth, because tornado chasers they get. Yeah, I used to tell them that when we had the big antennas on the vehicles that, we were tracking UFOs. So that usually either piqued their interest or they just kept looking at you, sideways and kept on walking, or whatever the case would be. How about you, Miss Karen? How do you explain to friends and family and about your husband's ham radio hobby? W3OH KC2UFU.
Hi, this is Karen, Whiskey 3, Oscar Hotel. Oh, that is such a loaded question. I'll try to be very nice. So I used to know something was going on in the basement. I didn't quite know what. I'd be watching TV. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to admit that I'm a General Hospital junkie, have been for 20 years. My husband's rolling his eyes, even though he could tell you about every character on the show. But I'd hear through the speakers this noise that wasn't coming from the TV. And I realized there was something going on in the basement. And I'd go down in our unfinished basement, which had the silver insulation, or at least the room that he was in, was unfinished with the silver insulation, and I just gathered that he was talking to the aliens. So that's kind of what I chalked it up to. But how I explain it to other people now, so when they come over and they look in our backyard and they see, so we have woods behind us and we have an in-ground pool out back. And then there's these wires that hang from one side of the yard to the other, kind of going across the pool, almost looks like a ladder. So I just explained to people that that's our trapeze, or a zip line, yeah, kind of like a zip line, and that that's how they get inducted into our house in the summertime. They have to swing down the zip line into the pool. But yeah, it's been interesting. I definitely like how he's made friends with the whole ham radio thing. I like to call him a hammy. He is a ham. And now he's got my younger son that's 18, studying to get his amateur radio license. But I still think it's talking to the aliens, because sometimes the noise that comes out of the speakers when I am watching TV upstairs just does not always sound human. But I do have so much respect for all of you.
That's okay. Yeah, we used to have all the time when we had the ladder lines. I would just tell people that it was, for the squirrels that were not good at climbing trees or getting to the trees, it's like a handicapped access ladder, for the squirrels, so that they could get, from the roof to the tree or whatever. So, whatever works.
That's really funny. I'm going to remember that one and tell that story. Thanks, Carrie.
Find out that Paul was a ham radio operator, and what were your first thoughts on that? WA3BJB, KC2UFU.
Hey, yeah, WA3BJB here. So I think the first time that when Paul and I started dating, the first time I came over to this house, the house that we're living in, I didn't know what I was walking into. I'll just say that. I walked in the front door, and we live in, like a typical kind of split four-year home. And I walked in the front door, and there was this, what looked like, well, I know that it's called coax now, but at the time I had no idea what it was. Snake. It was like the snake up up one set of stairs, and then up another set of stairs, and then down the long hallway, and then back into a room in the back of the house. And I remember walking in the house and seeing this and thinking, what is going on here? What have I walked into? So then I I knew that he was a ham radio operator, not really understanding what that was. But then, of course, he's showing me through the house, and we go into this one back room, and there's all kinds of gear. And then it kind of made sense, maybe a sliver. And then, of course, after dating for a while, I came to understand it a little bit more. But the the gear has kind of evolved from that one back bedroom to the garage to now a radio lodge. There was a basement also. It was kind of all over the house. So anyway, that's kind of how I found out about it. And then as far as describing it or explaining it to family and friends, I think sometimes it's hard to describe. You have to see it to really understand what it is. I think some of my friends, when I said, "Oh yeah, he's a radio operator," they immediately thought like CB, and I was like, "Oh my God, no, it's not that." So you kind of have to see it to really understand it, I think. But my family now, they get it, and luckily, thank heavens, we live out in the woods, because the wire and coax and crazy antenna stuff that's going on, when the neighbors come over, they're like, what's that hanging up there in the tree, and what does that do, and what does your husband do? It's kind of funny. Landscapers, the same thing. People come to put mulch down or whatever. It's like, okay, wait a minute, don't mess with that wire. They're always wanting to do something with it, like get rid of it or put it way high. So, anyways, it's been fun.
It's been fun. Just tell them it's squirrel ladders. Yeah, people look back, they see, antennas and stuff, and I've actually had people ask me, they're like, do you have cable? Or are you still, using an antenna to receive TV? It's like, no, I have cable. I have lots of cable, actually. I have cable everywhere. Cable here, follow it over there, to the garage. So, it's kind of hard to explain to people, but most of the time, I'll just say that, we get together with a bunch of people that live in a lot of different states, and, we talk to people in other countries and get to meet a lot of great people and have made some great friendships over the years. And, that people get, that people understand. I was like, just think of it as, like, I guess kind of, instead of meeting somebody online or in a chat room, you're actually talking to them, but not face to face. But when you talk to people on ham radio, you get to know people, and you get to know aspects of their lives and their feelings and their likes and their dislikes and everything else. So it's just, I think it's a tight-knit community, and I don't know how I've survived so long without it. And it's a shame that there's kind of like a stigmatism that comes with it, where, a lot of women just aren't interested, or they're not interested in, it's like something their husband does or whatever, or they're afraid to even get on the microphone or talk to anybody, or, become self-conscious about it, because I don't know why we're like that, but it just always seems like it's like one of those things in the guys category. But yet there are a few of us out here, and hopefully going to be a few more, because I really enjoy talking to all you ladies, that's for sure. Let's see what happened in the house of PHL. Jennifer, or otherwise known as PHL Light, how did you find out that Phil was a hammy?
Hey, well, Carrie, actually, Philip has been one since before we met. So when I met him, he was already one. So I was one. Okay, so he was one, and he told me right away. We were dating, so I bought a QST magazine and tried to kind of understand what he was into. I didn't really understand it. And it's just been part of our lives. It never really occurred to me to be weirded out by it. I had a walkie-talkie before we had cell phones. I think I just dated us, but don't everyone gasp, you youngins out there who always had cell phones your whole life. My kids always gasp whenever I say we didn't have cell phones when we were young, but no one used to gasp. So we had he was 102 and I was 103. So we had the walkie-talkies. I will say that I have pushed back once or two when we had an experiment that required cable to run through my bedroom. And it is a little weird telling my friends, for some reason, anytime I mention my husband as a ham radio operator, they think it has to do with sandwiches and Swiss cheese. And then I try to explain, oh no, I try to explain it, and, somehow I guess now it seems so clear to me, but for some reason it's very confusing to other people. I try to explain, no, he's talking in the radio, it's like a walkie-talkie, but no, I don't know. They just can't seem to grasp the concept, even when they see the equipment in the house. But yeah, it's always it never occurred to me to be weirded out or strange. It just was part of our lives at the beginning, so I never really found out. It was just part of our lives from the beginning. W2PHL, back to you, Carrie.
Very good, Jennifer. Is that where you are? You're outside. Oh, Ken's outside cracking up. Well, I know I had to explain because it happened. Ken built me a Class E transmitter for Christmas. He had asked me what I wanted for Christmas, and we had only had a TS440, which was a low-power radio. So, a lot of times, if conditions weren't right, people couldn't hear me, even though they tried, And it was very disheartening to me or whatever. And I said, I wish there was like a better way we could, people could hear us or whatever. So he was talking to a couple of the guys out there, and he asked me if I wanted a Class C transmitter, and I was like, yeah. So, after Christmas, when everybody says, oh, what did you get for Christmas or whatever, what did your husband get you or whatever, and I'm like, oh, well, he built me a Class E transmitter, and then they look at me and I go, with a Class H modulator, too, like as if that helps them. I mean, to me, it made sense, but it just kind of came out of my mouth, and people are like, oh, that's nice. So I understand getting used to it. Now it's just secondhand. Now you understand. Before, maybe you didn't know anything about transmitters or even, anything like that. But I think through osmosis, just from being around it, you start to understand the concepts and stuff. But still trying to explain it to somebody who has no idea can be very challenging at times. I know that. So that's funny. Yeah, coax running through the house. I've been there and I've done that. And sometimes I've nixed it, going, no, we're not doing that. Like, he wants to move it from one room to another, and I know, well, if you could put it under the house, then it's okay. But we're not running stuff from room to room and, taping it down with white tape. That's not going to work. So let's send it over here. Let's talk to Jennifer. Over to Miss Sarah, who I know grew up in a ham household, but how do you explain it to others? KB3OUK, KC2UFU.
WA1STH.
Good evening, Steve.
Is this little ladies' night?
Why, yes, it is.
Well, you little ladies have fun. I would not want to interrupt something like that.
You wouldn't dare. Well, it's good to know you're here and listening. We're having some fun. Hopefully you will too. So KB3OUK and KC2UFU.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, so, as you mentioned, I grew up in the ham world. Never really went to too many ham fests growing up. For some reason, my dad would always just take off with a couple ham buddies of his, and they would go to the ham fest. I went to some here and there. But I did... Shelby, you want to take the baby? I did grow up with wire antennas hanging at neck level through my backyard. So as a kid, running through the yard, you had to be careful that you didn't run into it head first, which that was always fun. But really, I don't have to explain it too much to people because he's been a ham for so long, like 12 years or something? I think it's like 13. So he's been a ham for so long that everybody, like, and his family and all that, they all get it. They've all been around it so long, they get it. My family has been through it for so long that it's just, what it is. Now, I was, like, shocked whenever I found him and found out that he was a ham because he neglected to tell me for the first, month and a half. So I had no idea until he got to talking with my dad and then mentioned it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I never dreamed someone my age even knew what this was, much less was all in it. And then once I saw his radio collection and his antennas and all his stuff. But yeah, it's, I don't really have to explain it to people too much. We really don't have many friends or anybody that comes around to see his antennas or anything, so, and everybody that does come around knows about it. So, everybody around here is just kind of like, okay, that's what they do. And they know that, I grew up in it. And the thing, we live in such a small town that even people that we don't know all that well somehow seem to know about it. Last year at one point they had part of the road closed that we live on, and we had gone outside, we were talking to the fire police that had the road closed, and he saw the antennas and stuff, and he's like, well, Shelby's in the ham radio, isn't he? We're like, yeah, so we were talking about it, and everybody's pretty cool with it, doesn't really, no judgment or anything. But I have to tease him every now and then that, he, kind of caught me and then told me, oh, hey, guess what, I'm into it too. But yeah, it's, I really, at first I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my goodness, the neglect to tell me. And the thing, as soon as my dad met him and found out, he told me, don't you let him get away. That's a good guy. Oh, yeah. Okay, there was two things my dad told me. The first thing was, why didn't you tell me he was a ham? Second thing was, don't let him get away. That's a good guy there. And I'm like, well, he's the one telling me that I'm not going anywhere because he's not, he's marrying me basically whether I want to or not. But yeah, so I tease him about every now and then that he's a nerd and stuff like that. But it's a really cool hobby, and I'm now looking back that my dad's not here. I'm glad that I married into it and that I get to be involved. And I was never really involved with my dad, so it's cool to be able to get into it now and get to take over his call once I get my license and all that. But anyway, that's what we're up to over here at KB3 OUK.
That's really cool because it's like you ready. That's funny. You kind of maybe hid it from you for a little bit because you didn't know how you were going to react. I hear that a lot, and a lot of the guys that I talk to out here, like if they're dating somebody or whatever, don't know how to approach that subject or how to get, what it is that they do. So,
well, with my eyes going the way,
let them come on here when we have a ladies' night, and then they'll get it. It's like, oh, it's just a bunch of people sitting around talking, chewing the fat. That's one way to do it. How about you, Miss Stephanie? How do you explain? Because I know you have a large transmitter. I forget what transmitter you have, but I know you have a big transmitter at your house. How do you explain that to anyone?
WA1QIX, remote control. How you doing? Go ahead, Stephanie.
Oh, and a pleasant good evening to you, Steve. Nice to hear you. It's WX3K. Well, I did have that transmitter. It no longer lives here. I sold that some time ago, and it's now resident somewhere down in Delaware. I have just my stuff, my ICO 720 here, and the 730 modulator, and the 722 VFO. And I'm listening on a National Nitro 50T here. And that works for now. No big power, no big kilowatt here. Antenna seems to work really well. So my dilemma is the exact opposite of everyone else. I don't have a significant other that's a ham, and I'm the one that's been the ham all along here, and it's always interesting to bring it into the conversation. Sometimes, I get some weird reactions because some people don't understand it, and some people think it's so old-fashioned. Oh, what do you want to have? Didn't they used to do that? and I find myself some of the time, going to bat for the hobby and defending it, that it is a current state-of-the-art hobby, and there's lots to do, and certainly there is. And lately, I to catch people's attention, sometimes
mileage Florida car was an FBI car, believe it or not.
Like I bounce signals off the moon for my hobby, and they kind of look at me. You what? And talk to the satellites moving through space and so on. Sometimes the conversation ends there and they don't want to hear anymore. But my sister is a ham also. It was back in '96 when I upgraded for my extra class, and at the same test session my sister got her novice. She passed her written and her code, and then she went back on her own about a month later and got her Tech Plus. But she's not very active. She's got, family and so on, and I understand that. I wish she, would get on more often. It's just, it's interesting. I'm very involved in the hobby, and I'm always supporting it. Like I mentioned previously, I'm a president of a pretty large ham radio club in the Lehigh Valley here, and I got an opportunity earlier this year to speak in front of a class at a local community college about ham radio and what it means to me and all that kind of stuff, and it was actually very cool, introducing it to younger folks. So anyway, I'm kind of the exception here. Go ahead.
Oh, very good. Well, it always is a conversation piece, if nothing else. How did, when you went and brought it to the college, to the younger folks, what kind of reception did you get about it?
You have to realize one thing. I gave the talk. It was 9:30 in the morning, and most of the students were they were barely awake. It was kind of funny. Some of them asked questions and were very interested. They're very curious about it. Some, I think, they were like, okay. and so on and so forth.
Yeah, some of them while you were talking were texting on their cell phones, like, yeah, like I'm going to do that. But hey, if you got one or two more people interested in the hobby, all the better. It's great that you do stuff like that and that you run the ham radio club and stuff like that. Do you have, is there a lot of women in your club?
Actually there are. There's, yeah, obviously the ratio of men to women is normal. Not quite as many women, but there are a number of folks that are very active in the club. They get on the air and show up at meetings too.
Well, that's good. Well, make sure you mention the ladies' night, and maybe we could get some more of them out here. That would be great. So let's send it over to WB2MEW, Miss Priscilla. I'm curious, did you have your license before or after you met Wes? Or was that kind of like something you did along the way?
Okay, I'm not licensed, but this is Priscilla, K1GTX's wife, and I first met my husband, well, I was actually, we were dating online, and he says to me, I've seen only one picture of him, and he says to me, do you want to see a picture of my truck? And I say to him, I guess, okay, I'm not really sure why I want to see a picture of his truck, but for some reason he seemed excited about it, so I let him send me a picture of his truck, and I see this long whip on it. And I'm wondering, what's that all about? And we go for a ride at some point, and we start talking Skip on his radio. And that's when I first had my first exposure to ham radio there. And that was pretty interesting, because we were able to talk all over the place on his mobile.
Yeah, I apologize for that, Priscilla. I was thinking of Phyllis. Oh, I got you two mixed up. My bad. I wonder where Phyllis is, actually. So, that's interesting. Oh, the whip antenna. Yes, the good old whip antenna. Talking Skip. Yeah, that brings me back, way back. How do you explain to friends and family what he does?
Well, the neighbors sometimes look over at our 80-foot tower and wonder what the story is behind that. And some of the nosier ones, we just tell them we've talked to the aliens.
See, that's my go-to. We talk to aliens. It works, I mean, a lot of the neighbors don't make direct eye contact with us anymore, and they haven't for years. But you know what? I'm okay with that, because sometimes neighbors aren't all they're cracked up to be. I mean, it's nice to, pass the sugar or the eggs every once in a while or whatever, but we all live a little bit differently, and I'm sure they're never thrilled to, see a giant tower go up in their neighborhood. If you're lucky and you have a lot of property, it's not a big deal, but like where we are, Ken has the tower. We haven't put it up yet. Still going through all the issues with the variances and all that stuff with the township, which is always fun. But I'm sure at this point our neighbors wouldn't be surprised, because we've kind of broken them in, slowly with, hanging a bunch of stuff in their trees, which they never, they just kind of look the other way, I guess. Let's see, it's FEF. Mike, are you and Tanya, are you guys here? KC2UFU. Okay. Is there anybody that is not a lady that would like to make any comments about what we've been talking about here? I think, Steve, you're here. Mobile. Is Sherry with you?
Hey, Carrie and everybody else. Nice group in here. This is Steve, WA1QIX. remote control mobile. No, Sherry's not with me at the moment, but she was funny. The first time she looked at my shack, I hadn't told her anything. We had, several dates, probably 4 or 5, when we first met, and I wasn't going to show her the shack until she had seen some other things, let's put it that way. And that night came about, and I happened to have to adjourn to the men's room, and I came out, and she said, are you some sort of a weird, electronic genius or something like that? And I said, why? She goes, what is that, all that stuff in that room, my ham shack? I said, oh, that. I was going to show you that, at some point, but, I wasn't hiding it from you. And so I said, yeah, it's a hobby of mine. I actually have a business doing stuff like that also, and, blah, blah, blah. And but she said, what is it? It looks very dangerous. I said, well, it is dangerous, You have to know what you're doing to do this. But she told me later on, that she almost just left. She says, I almost just got in my car and drove away when she went in there. So that was her experience with it.
Break.
Go ahead.
Hey, so now I just happened to be tuning around. I was on 75 and I came up here and I heard Steve say that he was going to show her the radio stuff, but he wanted to show her some other things first. This is a family show, Steve.
I wanted to show her, my prowess at cooking and, all the pots and pans I have and all the special cutlery things I've got. That's what I was talking about, Steve. What are you talking about?
Okay. All right. Well, okay. I'm sorry. You can all continue on. I will mind my own business.
You boys. How do you explain it, Steve, when you tell somebody you're an amateur radio operator?
How do I explain it? They don't know what the hell you're talking about, and they care less. I mean, the kids today, let's face it, cell phones, computers, the whole bit, they give it an inquisitive look.
And
that's about it. I mean, how do you explain to somebody what a thrill it is to talk to somebody all over the world on a radio when they can dial them up on their cell phone? Unfortunately, it's a different thing. I noticed that there are some younger kids getting involved here. When I say younger, 30-ish people on here today, and that's good. That's good. I just unfortunately, don't know how long it'll all last, but hopefully it'll last a long time. I don't know what we get we can also call people on the phone all the time. I think when I started out in the 60s, it was holy cow. It cost $20 to talk for 3 minutes to California, and I can talk to them for free on my radio. And then, of course, it was the allure of Citizens Band and Skip at the time. All kinds of neat stuff. And why it's such a guy thing instead of a girl thing, I don't know. I mean, here you are, yourself, Carrie, and a few others in here that are licensed or wives of people who are licensed. There's never been a good balance of male-female operators in ham radio. So what is it? Is like guys like trucks and girls don't? I don't know. Is it a gender thing? What's up with all of that? Go ahead, Carrie. Fill me in.
Well, I don't think I have an actual answer to that, but I can say have on my...
Exactly. It was just cool. Okay, I'm going to take this right...
Passing a ham radio outlet and said, oh, I wonder what a ham radio outlet is, and wandered in and been like, I think I'll buy a radio and go across the airwaves. Like, me personally, I don't think I would have ever done that, nor could I possibly ever have set any of this up. I mean, the things that Ken has made to make this happen, the antenna tuner by itself is super scary, and I'm glad it's up on a top shelf, and it has a sign, don't touch this, it will kill you, because I think that's pretty important to have that sign there. So I don't think I would be where I am today, because I don't have any electronics background. If I had some kind of electronics background or something like that, I think I may have ventured into the hobby, but because I didn't, it's all made possible because Ken can put this stuff together and run coax. You would not catch me in a million years up on a roof somewhere hanging wire and knowing the connectors and everything to do with it. And God forbid if I ever had a situation where I had RF. That would have been it for me. I would have shut everything off, and that would have been the end of it. Because the way that he has to chase down RF sometimes, it's a nightmare. As soon as I hear it in the radio, I get like this fear deep in my heart, and oh no, it's RF again. It's going to be another one of those days. So I don't know what it is. And I mean, as far as the younger people go, I think it's just a matter of education and experience to actually see what it is. It's so much better when you can show somebody hands-on. I know that we did a couple of times with the Boy Scouts, like a field day and stuff like that, and it sparks a lot more interest that way when you're actually physically doing it. Ham radio is like you physically need to see it, I think, because anybody that's ever come into the ham shack and then I've explained to them what stuff does, or they see me talking or whatever, and after sitting there for a couple minutes, they're like, that's really cool. A lot of my son's friends and stuff like that, they're like, that's really neat that you could do stuff like that. Now, whether they would ever actually get interested in the hobby, I don't know, but they could respect it, or maybe somewhere down the line, they would show some interest in it. So that's my take on it anyway, is that I don't think I ever would have made it here without Ken being able to do what he does, because all the wires and stuff, and if you hook things up wrong, we all know what happens. So that that doesn't work out well. So that's my long short answer.
Well, one more quick question, I guess. So what is it that draws you to ham radio? I mean, obviously you were introduced to it through Ken, but you're still on the what draws you to ham radio?
I'm Italian, and I like to talk to everybody.
Yeah, but Italians talk with their hands, and be it that this is not a
tip to do the typing.
That must be kind of difficult for you, is it not?
Well, no. Actually, with that in mind, the way Ken set it up, I mean, I don't have a foot pedal, but I just have a switch. So it's kind of like when I'm driving, one hand on the wheel and the other hand to gesticulate, So all I have to do is flick the switch, and then, I can gesticulate all I want while I'm talking. If you guys could only see me, the things I knock over.
Yeah, I know, because I'm Italian. I was brought up in an Italian family, and again, Italians speak with their hands. So yeah, maybe you want to do a YouTube thing where someone does when you're not looking, and we can see how you're trying to explain to the microphone the reality of it all. All right, well, enough from me. I'm not going to hang around in here. I hope it didn't drive anybody away. Hope you girls hang around, and it's very, very nice of you to take an interest in ham radio, and hopefully it will continue. And I think that the ladies' night idea is a good idea. After all, it's just like shooting a bull on the phone with one of your girlfriends, except for it's via the airways. 7 3s to all, and thank you for letting me in here. And have a good night. WA1STH. Clear for now.
Very good. Thank you for popping in here and joining us here. And I think the other thing is that besides liking to talk, I actually find it easier to meet people on the radio and talk to them not face to face. Not that I'm necessarily a shy person, but I think it takes away that maybe there's people that you may not have ever approached or talked to or whatever, for whatever reason, but there is none of that in ham radio. It's just voices. It's just listening to people and hearing their interests. And to me, that really draws me to the ham radio, because I have heard such interesting conversations out here. I've done everything from, talking to people about cooking, and we talk about cars, and I've even helped some of the guys that are out there that are single, when they have a cold and they need to know what to take. So, the mom or the lady part of me is always there to reach out and help them. So it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it, and I would really enjoy having a lot more ladies out here to shoot the breeze with, that's for sure. So the other question I was going to ask, that because again, Ken and I always have these conversations all the time, is that Ken considers ham radio a post-apocalyptic life skill. And if you don't know what that is, I'm sure you do or whatever, but that's like if tomorrow we were invaded by a zombie apocalypse and everything, or an EMP dropped, or something happened where you no longer had regular forms of communication, and all you had is your life skills to keep you survival, and you became part of a group, and just like The Walking Dead, the show The Walking Dead, everybody had to have some kind of skill to make them be part of the group or whatever. So Ken's, one of his post-apocalyptic life skills is the fact that we would still be able to, transmit across the waves. He would find a way, he would hook up batteries or do something, so that we would be able to communicate with, I guess it would probably be all you guys, because you guys would do the same thing. So my question to the ladies is, if you had to think of like a post-apocalyptic life skill, mine, I crochet. To me, I think of that as I can sew, I can crochet, and those are things that you would need to be able to, survive if you couldn't get clothing anymore or whatever. So there's probably something that you do. Maybe you learned it in Girl Scouts. I know that's where I learned to sew, and that's where I learned to crochet, from that and my grandmother. So if we had a post-apocalyptic situation or whatever, what could you possibly offer to be able to be part of a survival group? Let's go over to, we're going to Lisa there at KB3WFV headquarters. What can you do, Lisa?
I'm not sure. Other than maybe kick butt. That's about it.
Hey, you know what? Kicking butt is important. You could be the lady that has like all the stuff strapped to her, you know what I mean? And they think she's like the nice, quiet lady or whatever, but then she turns out to be able to kick butt. And there's so many ladies out here run, so, if we had to outrun zombies or something like that, I know who I'd want in my group. What's that? I hear Ken yelling from, he's out in the, out on the deck there. I can hear him, but not hear him at the same time. He's making his little comments there. How about you, Karen? What can you do? W308.
Oh, Carrie, I've been thinking quickly on this one. I haven't had much time. I was thinking I could run, but I'm really not that fast. I can shoot. I've definitely had some shooter training. I think. Don't laugh. Oh, I could drink shooters. I think we're talking about shooting guns. I think I'd have to go with play dead. I would just have to play dead. I think I could play dead really well, and then the zombies would just have to go after everybody else. But that's really mean, because I wouldn't want the zombies to get them before me. So that's a tough one. This was a good question. I'm curious what everyone else is going to have to say, because I'm rambling now, but we did watch Walking Dead for quite a few seasons. And it was rather interesting, but kind of made you think about things. I do have to say, so you could, because many of you know Dave and as you know, Whiskey 3 Oscar Hotel as a hammy, but he's a hammy, but he also loves to hunt, like hunt deer and the sport of it, of course. But all of our friends say they laugh at him about everything, and they think he's extreme, and they think he's kind of goofy. But they said he'd be the first person that they would, we'd be the first house they would go to if there was ever a zombie apocalypse. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. I'm looking forward to hearing others' responses. Thank you, and I'm sorry I rambled.
No, that's quite okay. Now, you see, I didn't know that. I didn't know you shoot. And, it's kind of funny that he would sit there and make fun of you when you're talking about shooting, because obviously if you know how to shoot, he should probably watch his set. How about you, Miss Jennifer, up at Miss W2PHL Light? Do you have any post-apocalyptic life skills?
Carrie, your question reminds me of this story. Philip and I Philip always had this thing about men not being allowed to wear flip-flops. So one day I'm like, what's your problem? What's going on? Why can't men wear flip-flops? And he's like, well, when disaster strikes, you can't be wearing flip-flops. I'm like, what? And he tells me, well, how are you going to walk over the rubble if you're wearing flip-flops? So basically, his thing was, if the world ends or there's big, disaster, men shouldn't be wearing flip-flops because they need to walk over the rubble, and you can't walk over the rubble in flip-flops. So then, of course, I said, well, I wear flip-flops, how am I going to walk over the rubble? And he says, well, he mimics that, he's going to carry me. He'll carry me. And I said, well, what if I don't want you to carry me? He said, well, then don't wear flip-flops. But to answer your question, I'm the planner. I always have a plan. We're in the movie theater. I'm like, okay, if something happens, this is the exit we're going to use in the moments in our lives where disaster has struck. I'm like, okay, here's the plan. This is what we're doing. You do this, you do this. I'm one of those people, you don't cry until after the disaster's over. So I'm all about, what are we doing now? Let's take care of the problem. Let's take care of the emergency. You do this, you do that. So I think when disaster strikes, I'll be the one with the plan. Over to you, Carrie, W2PHL.
All right, so Jennifer's the planner. That's good to know. And Phil, you obviously, I don't know if you know anyone who is Hispanic, but my aunt is Hispanic, and you have never seen her throw a flip-flop. She could take somebody out at 30 yards with her flip-flop, man. You think flip-flops are not important? You should think again, because I've seen people go down when she wings that flip-flop across the room. I mean, I've seen it actually turn corners and her hit somebody. So don't discount flip-flops. They're, they can possibly be good in a disaster situation. And on that note, over to you, Miss Pam, WA3 VJB in the group. What's your post-apocalyptic life skill?
Yeah, WA3 VJB here. I'm also a planner. I think when we go on a vacation, I probably plan a little bit too much and too detailed. Like there's no downtime. Part of my with my work life, I have to be so very flexible and figure things out, like within, a couple minutes time. So that might be something good. But I have to say, I grew up with the youngest of three, two older brothers. There's like 7 and 8 years difference. And when I was born, they swore that they would not have a sissy little sister. So they toughened me up from a very young age, so I might be, pretty strong, so I might be the one who could, do something, dig holes, trenches, haul things around, I don't know, maybe, I'm pretty short, but I don't know, maybe carry somebody if I needed to. I could run around. I could run and, fetch things for people. I don't know. Planning and strong. I think that's what I would say about myself, how I could help the team. WA3BJB here.
Well, that's good, because sometimes, you have to lead the zombies away. And somebody's got to be able to outrun them. They're not that quick. So that's good to know. How about you, Miss Stephanie? I mean, obviously you're a ham radio operator, so you have that going for you. That's definitely a post-apocalyptic life skill. And what else could you bring to the table?
Oh dear. It's WX3K. Bring to the table. This will make you laugh because I feel like most of the time I'm camping. I've done most of the things here pretty much, on my own. Remodel my house, whatnot, kitchen, and I feel like, through all those times, I've learned a lot of skills when it comes to cooking. Out of on the grill and out of this pan and on a charcoal grill and all sorts of variations there. I can prepare a killer meal on almost anything. How's that sound?
Sounds like I'd want you in my group. That's what it sounds like. And it's funny because you're the first person that mentioned cooking, and I know a lot of times, people don't think about that. Like, being able to cook in the kitchen and being able to cook outdoors in the wilderness are two totally different things. Knowing how to use cast iron or whatever you have around. I know my son taught me. He was the Boy Scouts for a long time, and my mother-in-law was a county park. She worked for the county parks for like 30 years, and she taught me when we would go hiking or stuff like that. She taught me things like how to make pine tree tea, and things that you could eat and things that you shouldn't eat and things that you definitely should not step in, and the best way to get ticks off of you if they just, if you spot them or whatever. She always used to walk around with a roll of Scotch tape all the time. And I always wondered why. And then one day we had stepped into the woods, and she stepped in a tick nest, which, believe it or not, they do get in these giant little nests or whatever, and you can step into a group of them, and you'll have a bunch of them all over the place. And she just whipped out her Scotch tape, and she was just like, "This is how you get rid of them," and just pull them all off. So she'd definitely be in my group too, that's for sure. How about you, Miss Priscilla, K1GTX? Do you have any post-apocalyptic life skills?
I, too, know how to sew. My aunt taught me, and I'm also a crocheter. But I think my real-life skill for post-apocalypse would be I would take the minutes for any meetings, because I'm a writer.
Oh, that's good. You would be able to document our journeys. And then when everything went back to normal, we survived, killed all the zombies and everything, then we could write a show.
GTU?
Yes, that would be me.
That's great. And I hear you, Mr. GTU. I will send it over to you in a moment. First, let's hear from Sarah, because she's definitely got some farm girl going on there. She's got her sheep and everything else. So what are your post-apocalyptic life skills, Sarah? KB30UK from KC2UFU.
So I was sitting here listening to everyone else and thinking, what skills do I have? Because I don't feel like I'm very skilled. I mean, I can cook in the kitchen, and I can use the cast iron. I have learned that, but my first attempt was really bad. I built a house with smoke one day. But then, you handed it off to me, and you said I'm a kind of, I live on a farm. That brought to mind, I have helped with hay, like stacking the hay bales and stuff. And like, so in that case, you know, I could like throw hay bales at the zombies and hope that they hit them. Although they do weigh like half as much as I weigh, I have a hard time throwing them around, but I can, you know. And I usually carry a pocket knife on me, so, you know, I guess I could cut them. Oh, and there's a good idea, Shelby. I could throw the hot grease on them that we use to fry stuff with. Hey, that's a good one too. Yeah, so that's pretty much. I mean, and I can do sewing. My grandma taught me how to sew and cook. So yeah, I feel like I have a couple skills now. KB3 OUK.
See, that's where we surprise ourselves. We don't think we have anything to offer, but we do. I mean, sewing, writing, teaching, you know, knowing how to fix things, and you know, there's so much stuff that we can do that being put under the pressure. There's probably more things than you even think. I mean, we know, you know, Karen. She could take them zombies out if, you know, the guys went out on a hunting party or some zombies showed up or whatever. We know Karen's a sharpshooter, so we stick close to her. And, you know, Jennifer could run and distract them. Pam, you guys could run, you know, do a whole thing. We have a plan forming, so just in case. Not saying we're ever going to have a zombie apocalypse, but you just never know. Anyway, I believe Mr. GTU is there. Go ahead, Mr. Blaine. How are you this evening, KC2UFU?
I'm good. Just sitting here with Dawn. We're listening to you guys. She's a little mic shy, so I'm trying to get her on. But what'd you say you were good at? What skill did you say you had?
I don't have any skills, but I could fish.
She could fish. She could roof. She could cook. You guys got to get her on the air. She's very shy.
How could you say those aren't skills? Those are awesome skills. I fish too. Fishing, and I can even fish. I learned how to fish with just a string and a stick. We learned that actually with the Boy Scout troop. They showed us, and I'll tell you what, pickerel, they'll eat just about anything. You can put the littlest something and you dangle it there, and you know, you could always have yourself might not be the best tasting fish, but if you're in that situation. Well, I'm glad you're here to join us this evening, Dawn. And even if you're a little mic shy, that's okay. But those are good things to be able to offer. I mean, fishing, you always have a body of water around. So thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. So I think we got everybody with that. Is there anyone here that's listening that has any comments? This is KC2UFU.
KC2DHU. Just want to say I've been listening for a good while, and love hearing you ladies in there, and love your topics. You guys are doing a great job, and love to hear you in here more often from the banks of the Hudson River in Tompkins Cove.
Very good, KC2DHU. Glad you could join us. Is there anyone else that would like to make a comment? KC2UFU. Okay. Just checking. So, with that in thought, you know, I'll just throw a zombie apocalypse at everybody. That probably caught everybody off guard, but that's okay. If we were in that situation, I want to know who would do the laundry, because I hate doing laundry. That is probably like on my to-do list of things that I dislike the most. I mean, cooking and cleaning, you know, hey, it's all part of it or whatever, but I hate doing laundry. And I think if we had a situation where we were like that, I would probably miss my washing machine the most out of everything. Because that's, one thing, especially having a house full of boys or whatever. Imagine if you were out in the middle of nowhere and you had to wash your clothes and come up with ways to do it. That would be my modern convenience that I would definitely miss. What would you miss, Lisa, if we didn't have all our modern conveniences anymore? What do you think you would miss the most?
I'm in trouble, Carrie. I was talking to her and she missed the question, so you'll have to ask her again.
Do you not understand what back seat means? My gosh, it's like she's driving and you're telling her what to do. I was wondering if we didn't have any more modern conveniences, what would you miss the most? Me, I would miss my washer and dryer. I mean, drying, that's not such a big deal. You hang it on a tree or whatever. But the thought of having to scrub a whole bunch of clothes just makes me not... I don't even want to think about it. What do you think you would miss the most?
Oh, I'm not sure. What would I miss the most? Well, what else would I miss the most? I don't even know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Drawing a blank. I'm not sure what I would miss the most, to tell you the truth. I don't know.
Well, on that thought, what is like the thing that you dislike the most about, you have all the modern, I mean, I've missed refrigerators too. I don't even know how we would do with that. Will we have to salt everything? I don't even know. But think about, like, some people can't live without their coffee maker,
Well, yeah. Brian's like, you have to have your coffee.
How about you, Karen? What do you think you couldn't live without? What would you miss the most?
I have no idea. My thoughts are just not there. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. No big deal. Yeah, I know. It's kind of an on-the-spot question. I should probably, email everybody. This is what I'm going to throw at you today. Just try to come up with it. Seems like everybody's enjoying the conversation. I know I am. And actually learning a lot about each and every one of you through every, question or round of questions that we have. I mean, Karen definitely threw me off with the whole shooter thing. I did not picture her as a shooter. But what would you miss, Karen? What is your not to live without item?
Well, Carrie, I'm glad I threw you off there with the shooting. Yeah, that's a fun thing to be able to do in a safe way. So keeping it lighthearted, I would have to have my wine. I'm sorry, my WINE. Yeah, that's probably what I would miss the most. Like I said, keeping it lighthearted. But also just wanted to say I have to chime off, but I truly enjoy these ladies' nights, and I hope there's another one, and we'll look forward to that. And I thank you all, appreciate it. And Carrie, thanks especially to you for hosting. You make this a lot of fun. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad. And yeah, actually, I was thinking it is almost 9 o'clock. I lose track of time because I just have so much fun doing this. I could do it for hours, but of course I'm always on the air all the time anyway. But so we'll make that our thought out then. What would you miss, and then tell me how you enjoyed this evening. And I would like to know that you ladies will be back. That's for sure. So over to you, Miss Jennifer, W2PHL Light. I know it's Phil's birthday. Sure. You guys have had cake and everything, and you're probably ready to relax for the evening. But we do appreciate you being here, that's for sure. What would you miss, Jennifer? And tell us.
Yes, we are enjoying the birthday celebrations, Carrie. Thank you. The boiler and the hot water heater I'm all about heat. I'm all about, I'm not about, sitting near a fireplace is very nice. You go to the cabins, the camping, but I'm not about, being away from the fireplace, and then the fire has to be put out. So I'm all about having heat all day, all night. I'm all about having nice hot water. So as a modern convenience, I'm just like not living without. And yes, we are going to be signing off. Again, thank you for doing this. We really appreciate it. It's nice to hear from everyone again. We're happy to be a part of it all. But yes, we're going to sign off on this birthday evening. Thank you again. Back to you, Carrie, W2PHL Light. And
yeah, good night. Thanks, everyone. W2PHL.
Yeah, very good. By the way, Phil, did you show Jennifer the email you sent me?
Tell me.
Uh-oh. No, I told her about it, but she didn't see it specifically, so I guess I'm going to have to do that now, Carrie. Thank you.
You're welcome. No problem, anytime. Over to the WA3VJB headquarters, Miss Pam.
Yeah, so the first thing that came to my mind was my coffee. The coffee pot. I don't know if I could live without coffee every morning. And we love the coffee beans. We grind our own coffee beans, and get the coffee ready in the evening, and then set the timer and have it ready. When the alarm goes off in the morning and the coffee's ready, and oh man, I don't know if I could go without my coffee in the morning. But then when I heard wine, well, Paul is here in the backseat driver here. We also use half and half in our coffee, and that's something that I never used half and half in my coffee, but until I met Paul. But and now, I have to have half and half in my coffee. But anyways, when I heard wine, I'm thinking, I don't know, there might be a tie there. Coffee, wine, I don't know which one is the most. Maybe both of them. So, but definitely have to have the coffee maker, have to have coffee to get me going in the morning. That's a must. I don't know what I would do without coffee. So those are my thoughts. But thanks for the ladies' night. It's been fun. Fun to hear everybody, and the questions were fun to think about and to answer and hear everybody's thoughts, Carrie. So thank you for that. WA3VJB here.
Very good, Pam, and thank you for joining us. I really appreciate it. Behind every good ham is a good ham woman. So, it is a lot of fun, and I always like to talk to the significant others of my ham radio friends because they are cast characters, that's for sure. So it's a lot of fun, and I'll definitely let you guys know when we're going to do it again. I'm hopefully, we're heading into a situation now where it's starting to be summer, and the band doesn't hold up as well for as long. We've been very busy last time and this time as well. I was a little nervous getting on that we weren't going to have a good evening, but we did. So thanks for joining us, and hopefully you'll definitely join us again. Over to you, Miss Stephanie, for your thoughts and your final, but it doesn't have to be your final, because everybody, of course, is welcome to stay afterwards, and still shoot the breeze. WX3K, KCCUFU.
Okay, KCCUFU is WX3K. I think I am going to make this my final. I am starting to doze here. Everybody raises a very good point. I got the coffee thing in the morning, the freshly ground coffee with the half and half. I can relate. wine? Yeah, I can relate to that too. But I think the one thing that really hit home for me was the hot shower. You know? Oh my gosh. That, you know, there's nothing more reviving to me after, you know, a long day or, you know, you're outside hiking and everything and you come home, you just, that's it. That's it for me, I guess. The modern convenience of a hot shower. There you go. Can't do without it. I don't know what I would do without it. Can't imagine. So thank you again for assembling the multitude here. It was very nice. And everyone's doing okay and hanging in there with this pandemic. Certainly seems like normal life is ratcheting up really quickly. Things are opening up around us, and beaches are open already, and pretty soon we'll have all this wonderful traffic to deal with again on the highways. It's been so wonderful for me. Commutes have been a breeze, absolutely a breeze. I suppose at some point in the next month that won't be the case anymore. So anyway, I'm enjoying it while I can. All right, Carrie, have a wonderful evening.
You too, Miss Stephanie. Always enjoy hearing your melodious voice on the radio. And I duly noted, ladies, that wine and coffee are a staple of, I don't know how we would make half and half. I mean, that's kind of tough. You might be able to get a cow, do milk, but maybe somebody should look into that. How to make half and half. Coffee we might be able to grow. Wine we might be able to make. But half and half, that's a tough one. I don't know if we could get that. But always a lot of fun to think about. Over to Miss Priscilla, K1GTX. This is KC2UFU.
Hi, well, I'm a terrible cook, so I think I would really miss my microwave and possibly also my cereal. So that's what I would like to have as a modern convenience. And thank you very much for this very exciting net. It's been really great, and this is my final K1GTX.
All right, Miss Priscilla, thank you for joining us once again. And I will let you know when we have another one in the wings. KB3OUK, Miss Sarah, from KC2UFU.
Yeah, so just following up, I really enjoy a nice shower. And, you know, refrigerator, washer, dryer, you know, just, yeah, of course, my husband, you know, he's another back seat, Pam, so every time I get on to talk, he has to chip in, but yeah, so he, you know, he fixes all my appliances, thankfully, so, even if something broke, he would be able to rig it up to keep it running or fix it or whatever. He's even said, you know, our microwave is like 30, 40 years old, and he said, you know, he would rebuild the microwave rather than get a new one, because the new ones are basically, you know, the new ones aren't meant to be fixed, but ours is just a simple microwave that could be fixed very easily. So anyway, but yeah, I enjoy, you know, a nice, you know, shower, a fridge, you know, especially a freezer, and, you know, because lately we've been, you know, stocking up on food, that way we don't have to go to the store quite as much, and especially now with quarantine, it's been a lot nicer to not have to run out as much to the store, especially with a baby. But yeah, I don't know if I think we'll probably hang around a little bit, but Yeah, tonight's been really fun, and I always enjoy the ladies' nights, and keep them coming, Carrie. Back to you, KB3OUK.
Oh, very good, Sarah. KB3OUK, KC2UFU. Yeah, if there's one thing that the pandemic has kind of shown us is that we do have to think outside the box sometimes. I know I'm guilty of not planning ahead for dinner sometimes, maybe like a day or 2 days or whatever, because I never know what's going on or who's going to be home or whatever. But ever since this whole thing hit and happened, I've learned to shop differently, especially because you go to the food store and you can't always get what you're looking for, and you have to think of something else. So, you know, that's always a thought. I don't know what I would do without my freezer, that's for sure. I guess we would figure it out. But as always, I had a great time. I'm going to send this over to Miss Lisa to see if she is going to hang in here, and so she can say goodbye to everybody. And then, you know, we will definitely do this again sometime. I thank all you ladies again for participating, and had a really, really excellent evening. Over to you, Miss Lisa, KB3WFB, KC2UFU.
All right, Carrie and everyone out there. Yes, it was a nice evening. But yeah, we're going to say goodnight too. I don't think I'm going to hang out. I'm sure Mr. Brian will be hanging out though. But yep, looking forward to another round, and just let us know when that is, and we'll be there. Hey, I've got a question. Has anybody found toilet paper yet?
Oh, well, in New Jersey, there's no longer a toilet paper shortage. I don't know about anybody else.
Okay, I think I finally found some myself last week. I was just wondering if that was, you know, slowly coming about, so just was curious. All right, have a good evening.
All right.
Hey, Terry, I was just wondering how many check-ins you had.
I really appreciate it. So I'm going to end ladies' night here, but the night is still young and it's not over. So got to open it up to good old-fashioned break-in. So everybody have a good evening that's departing, and everyone that's hanging out, let's have at it. This is KC2UFU.
Hey, Carrie, how many did you have check in this time?
I think we had 8. We're missing a couple people from last time, but I think there was 9 of us again. So we lost some, we gained some. I don't know what happened to Miss Tanya. She was off on the wings there, but maybe she's back now. Are you back, Tanya? We don't know where you went. She was eating some good chicken.
All right, catch you later. Thanks for having the show here this evening. I enjoyed it a lot, too. WA3VJB Annapolis. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Paul. Thanks for being there, and thanks for being a ham radio operator. Because without you, I couldn't talk to Pam. And you're 7x9, by the way.
Yeah, I gotta say, it was very, very enjoyable listening to you gals tonight, and great signals too. Everybody had a great signal. So armchair copy while I was fighting around on the computer here, and just great to hope you keep up with the ladies' nights, and you get more and more interested in it. I think if you do it, you may find some more interest. You may get some YLs to talk out there that you never heard before. Could be really cool.
Absolutely. Are you still in here, Blaine?
Yes.
So what does Miss Dawn think?
What does what think?
I said, what did Dawn think? I know she didn't want to get on here, but did she enjoy listening?
Yes, I enjoyed listening tonight. I wish I would have joined earlier. But I would like to say that I would not be able to live without my alcohol or air conditioning.
I have 14-year-old boys. I need my alcohol.
Yeah, definitely. And food for the kids.
Yes. But it was nice listening to you ladies tonight, and I would like to join again if you have another ladies' night. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. And I have to tell you, your voice sounds absolutely fantastic on the radio.
Thank you.
Be a welcome addition, that's for sure. All right, so Blaine, you know what you have to do. Start looking up, guys, you know, how to make stills and how to grow grapes, because we've found that it's very, very important that we have our wine and our alcohol if we're going to survive zombies.
We need potatoes for vodka.
How'd we do, Perry? All right, where'd everybody go?
What's that, Carrie?
I said, where did everybody go? It just got silent.
The band's flopping a little bit here. Dawn had another comment there. I don't know if you heard her.
Oh, no, I missed that. What was that, Miss Dawn?
Oh, I said we need potatoes to make vodka, and then we'd be all set.
And I'm still here, W3MMR. I'm just running around from room to room.
Gotcha. Well, it's a good thing, Dawn, that potatoes keep well, so we'd be able to do that for sure. Just tell Blaine he's got to learn how to make a copper still.
You can make one out of a pressure cooker, and you just do a copper coil off the top of your stove into a little thing. So you could use like mash. You could ferment wheat or potatoes or whatever you want. Make your own alcohol. I've been researching.
Oh, there you go. See, we're set. We are set with all the ingenuity with everything that you guys bring to the table. I think we would be fine. So we should always think about that. You know, if we're going to go down, that, you know, we have our ham radios, we have our backups, that we can make a contingency plan.
You're going to need a medic on the crew.
Band's being really weird.
Yeah, I read a book on building stills and stuff years and years ago. The only thing is I didn't have a cold running stream. You know what? Now I got the cold running stream. Maybe I should revisit that idea. KC2DHU.
All right. We know where we're going.
Perry's calling you, Carrie.
Oh, what's that, Perry?
The band's doing, I don't know, the band's... Brian, do you hear that on Carrie's signal, like the rapid QSB, or anybody else's? I'm hearing almost like a reverb, but it's definitely 100% the band. I've heard this before. It's kind of like the beginning stages of where I've heard like full-fledged reverb from people because of the band, but yeah, I'm hearing it almost starting to begin on your signal, Carrie. Are you hearing that, Brian?
Yeah, it's on some of the signals there, Perry. I think they call it. I think it's called backscatter, and it happens just before the band stretches out real long.
I got you. Was there somebody else that wanted to say something? I heard somebody double with you in the beginning there, Brian.
Yeah.
I think I doubled with somebody.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, let me try it again.
Long path, question mark?
I was trying to say, Perry, that it's backscatter. It happens just before the band stretches.
Oh, I got you. And I hear you down there, Phil, KA4KOA. Not real strong in here this evening, but I do hear you in there, Philip, so good evening to you down in Georgia. And, yeah, I guess that's probably what it is, Brian. Yeah, because you're pretty strong. Philip down in Georgia isn't that great, but the band's starting to stretch, I can tell. And Carrie is super strong, but then there's that super rapid flutter backscatter thingamabobber going on. W3MMR. But you're doing a great job, Carrie. And we still have 6 people watching on the various live streams. And from all the comments, people seem to really be enjoying it, Carrie. And you're doing a fantastic job. Back over to you. W3MMR.
Oh, very good. Yeah, well, it's a lot of fun, and I hope it is getting out on the airwaves and shortwaves and internet and everything else, because this is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to do. I really enjoy it, and seems like everybody else enjoys listening, too, because it's just, it's just something different.
Great job tonight, Carrie. I appreciate you came on GTX. You dragged Priscilla out of her shell once again. Fantastic, and you're a great net operator, by the way. So, and always a smoking signal here on Cape Cod. I'm going to bail as well, but definitely let us know when you can do it again. She loves it, and of course, you're a fantastic host. So, 7-3 from K1 GTX. Ciao.
Oh, very good. And, Priscilla could, I know she likes to write and stuff like that. She could do some kind of, post-apocalyptic story with ham radio operators, and you could be the go-to guy for all the technical stuff,
Yeah, right? Yeah, I'll try to make her write something up just for, comedic comedy. Yeah, right, here we go. All right, so anyway, have a good one, Carrie, and she's definitely looking forward to it again, because she doesn't talk much, and she does it all at once here, so fantastic job, and of course, a strapping signal as always. 7-3 to Carrie and everyone else out here. I'm going to go out and cook myself some chicken wings, so... Have a good evening, all. This is K1 GTX Cape Cod. Ciao.
All right, have a good one, and thanks for bringing Priscilla in here.
See you, Wes. See you, Priscilla. W3MOR.
Have a good one, Perry. We'll catch you at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I'll be up. I'll be up.
5 o'clock?
Yeah, I get up at 5 every morning and get on here. Some mornings I get up at 4 3:30, and get on the crew in the mornings. But lately I've been sleeping in the past 3 or 4 days. I slept in until 7 o'clock this morning, and that was the first time I've slept in that late in probably 4 or 5 years. I woke up at my normal time at 5, was going to get on the old military radio net here on Saturday mornings, and didn't hear anybody, so I shut the radio back off and went back to bed and woke up at 7, and I never sleep that late.
Yeah, I mean, other than that little flutter that you're hearing from the, whatever's happening with the band or whatever, does this sound okay? I'm asking everybody tonight, because we lost a piece of equipment. We lost the Behringer. Now Ken's using an Orban equalizer. So I'm sure you'd tell me if it didn't sound right.
I think it sounds great. I think it sounds better, to be honest with you. Before, sometimes you would get so overmodulated, and now it's like the EQ's perfect, the levels are perfect. You can compare it tonight to like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. You'll hear what I mean. Sounds really, really good. W3MMR.
Spot on, Carrie. No issue.
All right, good to know. It means I probably won't put that back in line. Get rid of the digital. Ken's not big on the digital processing stuff anyway, so that's good. Yeah, buttons and switches and knobs. Yeah, good stuff. Was there somebody else that was breaking in? KC2UFU.
quick question. Do I sound okay over that way, Carrie? Over.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you always sound good, Perry. Everything is status quo with you.
Don't worry, I'd tell you if you sounded bad.
Yeah, Kenny tell you if you sounded like crap. He's very honest that way.
Oh, I know he has. Just wondering, 'cause I'm running a little more power. Just running about 350 watts of carrier. Out of the Henry, I've never ran it like this before, so I just figured. Everything looked okay, so I figured it was status quo. Just figured I'd ask since we were asking. Anyway, are you still in here, Blaine and Dawn?
Yes.
Sounds like I got you like mid-sip.
No, I'm having problems with my muting. Why is it doing this? There we go. That's strange. Okay, there we go. Nope. It's still it's a computer mute. It basically goes off my signal strength. And what happens is I have to adjust it because sometimes Carrie's signal will come up and she'll mute my receiver. Usually Steve QIX and Bob KBW will do that, but most of you guys don't. But tonight conditions are good, so you guys are all muting my receiver while I'm trying to listen.
I've never heard of that. That would be kind of, I don't know if I would like that.
I'll tell you what, I don't either. I wish they would give support, like to, if I could hook like a serial port up or some kind of dry contacts to the SDR, so when I key the transmitter, just one of the relays will just click and mute the receiver, but they don't have it. I'm going to email the developer and see if he could work something like that.
So it's built into the SDR that you're using.
Yeah, I'm using SDR console. I got the AirSpy HF Plus, and it's a great receiver. It's just it only has a software mute, and I guess what I could do is put a Y adapter on the receive antenna and just put a little wire inside the room here, so no matter what happens, my signal's always stronger than everyone's. I don't want to overload the receiver and damage it, you know.
Right. Well, you can like do that with relays, you know, like an optocoupler or something like I use here to take the anon, put something between the anon and the amplifier so I don't blow out one of those little FETs again in the anon. But yeah, you can accomplish that with relays and just ground the receiver, ground the antenna jack of the HF Plus when you key, you know. Are you using a foot pedal?
No, just a big old light switch.
I got you. Yeah, I'm a foot pedal guy. I have many foot pedals. Alright, well, cool. That's what's up. Yeah, I got a foot pedal that, like, it's got two-part switch. First part key, well, that's like for keying the amplifier, and then the second part is for keying the radio. I picked it off eBay for like $35. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in the middle of ladies' night. I'll shut up. W3MMR.
Yeah, you know what I could do is I guess I could wire the relay to the output of the cable, the audio cable that goes to the speakers, and just have it switch in like a 10K resistor on the left and right channel, and that would mute it well.
Well, that's what I need to do with my speakers, because every time I key up, I got to turn the volume down, because I use my monitor in the anon for the audio for the live stream, and you know, I can't like turn the monitor off, so to hear you guys I have to have the volume up, and when I talk I don't want my monitor getting, you know, sounding like this, hello radio, you know what I mean? So yeah, I need to do that. I bought a contactor for that. I was gonna tape it I was gonna zip tie it to my mic boom so I can hear a clunk when I key up.
When I was running the remote one way, in other words, I was transmitting from the mobile and receiving from the remote because the noise level in the truck was so high. I just took a 12-volt automotive relay. Perry put a 1/8-inch connector on it for the speaker to plug into it, an 1/8-inch male to plug into the speaker out of the radio, and looped the coil through the PTT circuit so that when I keyed up, it muted the speaker. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I need to do that. I can actually I can mute the in from the my USB mic pre. I could put a relay on that, because one of these speakers is powered and doesn't have any speaker wires. It's the amplifier for the other speaker, so the input goes right in the back of this one, then one speaker wire goes to the other speaker from this speaker.
Put the relay wherever your speaker plugs into, you put the relay between it and what the speaker plugs into.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Which is the USB mic pre. That's where the input comes from. Audio input. Anyway, sorry. Look at me. I just jumped in the middle of this. I haven't spoken in 45 minutes. W3MMR.
Hey Perry, how's this thing sounding? I put a limiter in series with the audio processors. Hopefully it wrangled up the audio a little bit.
I think it sounds really good. It's more punchy than I'm normally used to hearing you. You're usually really smooth and mellow, a little bit quieter, but this is really punchy. It's very, I think it's really enjoyable to listen to.
Alright, yeah, this is the Valiant. I'm running the Shure SM7B into the DBX, and it comes out of there and goes into a little DOD compressor limiter. So I'm probably doing more limiting than I need to, but, you know, I try to squeeze as much audio as I can into this Valiant.
Yeah, you can tell you got some compression in there in the upper mid-range, in the honky range.
You just call me a honky?
Well, you know what I meant. Ha.
You know, honky ass. Radio.
You don't start.
Leave that alone.
And it's Saturday night. Dude, it's 82 degrees in my shack right now. And it's 67 outside. I got rid of all my air conditioners last year. I don't have central air, okay? I live in a little bungalow. It's like the perfect bachelor pad. It's great. But I broke my main air conditioner downstairs last year because it started backing up and the condensation started running into the house. So in the middle of a 95-degree night, I went out there with a hammer and a punch and punched a hole in the bottom of it to drain the water out. But the punch went through and hit the fan while it was turning. I left the air conditioner on like an idiot. And so it knocked the thing out of balance, and it used to shake half of my house. So I threw it out and threw it in the trash. And the other one was old, so I threw that out, thinking I would buy air conditioners by now. But here we are. It was 85 today, and it's 80-something in the house, and I don't have any air conditioners.
Come on, what is it, $80 at Walmart?
No, I want a big one for downstairs. Because I'm either thinking, if I can get one big one that'll cool the living room and the shack, which is right next to the living room, I'll do that. And get another small one for my bedroom upstairs. But if I have to, I'll get one little one for out here, a little one for the living room, and a little one for upstairs. But I'm only going to need at least 2 air conditioners.
You know, it would work good. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're little vertical units. They're on wheels. And it sits in the room, and it just has a dryer duct that goes out a window. And you'll see them like the little portable ACs. You get one of those and put it in your room there. It'll work out nice.
Yeah, my dad has one. He bought one because his geothermal, I think the heat pump or something, or the coil for his geothermal system rotted out. So he lost air conditioner last summer and had one of those units, and he's got a pretty decent sized rancher and was able to do the living room with it and got it down pretty cool when it was 100 degrees outside just about. So I've seen those. That's an option. I don't know. I'm not trying to buy anything, spend a lot of money, because I'd like to buy a house soon if possible. I'm looking into a couple things, so I'm not really trying to pinch pennies as much as I can.
Oh, what do you? I was going to ask you, Perry, do you rent or?
Oh yeah, I rent. I have a little 2-bedroom, 1-bath house, just me and my dog, right outside of Philly, in the city of Chester, which is like Philadelphia, and then there's Chester. It's like an extension of the refineries and all the factories and stuff on the southwest and south part of Philly. And yeah, it's pretty urban here, but I have a nice, like, decent side yard. I can fit a 80-meter dipole in here, and you know, I got antennas everywhere, so it's decent. And I work a block away from my house, so. But I'm trying to move over to Jersey, over to Salem County, by where I went to high school, over in Woodstown, like Upper Pittsgrove, that area. But over by my father.
When you go over the bridge from Jersey, are you on the right side of the bridge or the left?
Well, if you're like the Commodore Barry Bridge, if you're coming from Jersey, you go up 95 North. I'm right to the right there, like where the soccer stadium is. Like that's Chester. Like you see where the Philadelphia Union soccer stadium is, right there on the bridge. Like all that's Chester underneath the Commodore Barry Bridge.
Yeah, that's right where Ken used to go pick up all his race fuel from VP. Right there.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, that's where I'm at. Right there in the hood. Well, I'm not in the hood, but the hood's not far away.
Gotcha.
Didn't get a tool.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know you were renting or whatever, but if you ever looked into the Mitsubishi, the split system, but obviously you're renting, so you're not gonna cut a hole in the house that you live in.
Yeah, that's why I said the little wheel-around portable ones, because he could take it with him when he moves.
You know, Carrie, you're starting to fade. Wow, the band's starting to go long. Yeah, they're nice though, Blaine. I just don't. I want something that's like overkill. We had one at the shop, man. We had this really nice big one that used to cool the whole office and like the lounge, and used to had heat built into it and stuff. It was a little 221, a big 221. I mean, we just renovated and they threw it out. The guy threw it in the dumpster. I didn't even realize it at the time, or I would have taken that. Yeah, you're there, Philip, but you're right down. You're not real strong yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess the band, because I'm running 300 watts, man. So you ain't got conditions. You ain't got conditions.
Yeah, you're coming up though. You're stronger than you were earlier. But audio sounds really nice. The K7DYY sounds like you're getting it where you want it.
Terry, I got a Unity transmitter here a couple of days ago. I'm running a Super Senior, about 300 watts carrier. And until I get the broadcast transmitter back in there, it's as good as it's going to get.
Well, it sounds good, Philip. It really does. So, glad to see you're getting it up and running and working like it should, because it sounds great. How you holding up there, Blaine? You still hear me?
We're all fading.
Yeah, I'm starting to really lose everybody. I didn't mean to. Now, like, I guess ladies' night is over, I hope, because I didn't mean to jump in the middle of it. Just kind of wipe it out. But I think everybody was signing. I went in the other room for a little bit and came back, and everybody was pretty much gone. So, anyway, Carrie, I'll say bye to you, because you're like right at my noise level now. Say bye to you, Blaine, and Dawn, and Ken, Carrie, and Wes, and Priscilla, and Dave, and I'm so bad with names, so I'm just gonna say Dave and Co, and Paul, VJB and Co, and everybody else in Co, and me and Co is my dog that's looking at me and laying on the couch. Laying on the back of the couch. So we'll say 7-3, Philip. Good to hear the K7DYY is working good. And I'm just on the Anon with the Henry amplifier. Here running about 300 watts. We'll catch up with you guys later on. 7-3, W3MMR.
Okay, Perry, well, have a good evening. Yeah, well, you're S95 over here in Georgia, KA.
All right, Perry, have a good one. Thanks for doing the recording again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, Carrie. I enjoy doing it. So It's there for all eternity. Well, at least I hope all eternity. And 7-3 to you, Phil. Phil, yeah, you're Philip. Excuse me, you're about 5 over yourself. Some QSB there, so. But hell, it's 9:30. It's like past my bedtime. I'm a 9 o'clock guy. I'm usually laying in bed right now, staring at Facebook. Catch up with you guys later. 7-3. W3MMR, Chester, Pennsylvania.
Good night, Perry.
Oh, good night, Brian.
Later, Perry.
Holy crap, 50 over, Blaine.
Perry, well, good night to you, and take care. K.A.
Night, Philip.
Is that Philip in there?
It is.
Yeah, well, hi to Philip if that's Philip in there. I don't think Phil's hearing me down in Georgia.
Hey, Philip, can you hear Blaine N1 GTU?
You asking me if I can hear Blake?
Blaine's saying hello.
Hey, Phil from the AM window on Facebook.
It's kind of rough down here. The only people out here well are you, Terry, and Perry.
Yeah, Philip, that's Blaine, N1GTU, Blaine from the AM group. He was, Blaine up in Connecticut was just trying to say hi to you.
Oh, Blaine, yeah, I'm not hearing you very well. I'm sorry the conditions aren't better at the moment.
Yeah, no problem. I'm only running 100 watts on a Valiant. I got to get a bigger transmitter for down here.
Yeah, he said he's only running 100 watts with the Valiant. But boy, he's strong here. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, Blaine was just wanted to say hi there, Philip, and I guess you heard him back there, Blaine. So 7-3, guys, I'm getting out of here and shutting this stuff off. I'll let the live feed go for a while, but I'm shutting myself off. 7-3, W3MMR.
Good night to Mike, if that's Mike in there.
It's not a 100-watt night. It's barely a 300-watt night, unfortunately. So, anyway, KA for Kelly. All right, Blaine, good hearing you.
Good not hearing me very well, I guess. All right, Philip, we'll catch you on Facebook. Brian, hello to Brian.
I heard you that time, Blaine. Good.
Hey, Blaino.
All right, yeah, 100 watts just ain't cutting it, but I'll get something bigger.
Hello, Blaine. KB3WFV.
Hey, Brian. Good ladies' night tonight. We've been listening for a while. Dawn was a little mic shy, but she finally got on.
Well, she can hurry up and get her ticket, and then she can be KB2 KBW.
Yes, there'll be 3 of them. They're unstoppable.
She ain't got nothing to be shy about. It's a great group of people here. Yeah, and Clark and Perry and many others. Too many to list here, and it's neat to hear the ladies get on and carry on for a little while there. So, kind of find myself wishing for another barbecue, but I guess that'll be some time to come before we all feel comfortable doing that.
Well, if we imbibe in enough alcohol, it'll kill that coronavirus. We'll all be safe.
Well, I like Dawn's observation about the potatoes. When I left Newington back in February there on the 14th, I came down with something that, well, the family all swears was the virus, but I haven't gone and gotten tested for it. I was tested for the flu, and they said it wasn't that. But it put me down for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and about halfway through it, Blaine, I got tired of drinking Gatorade. And, start thinking about, okay, rubbing alcohol and wash your hands and wear gloves. I said, all right, well, if alcohol works on the outside, it's got to work on the inside. Put some vodka in that Gatorade.
That's it. That happened to me about the same time. I think it was in February that I got sick, right?
Yeah, it was Valentine's Day weekend you were sick.
Yeah.
All the way to the end of March.
Yeah, because I remember driving home from work and I had a sore throat, and I said, screw this, and I swung by the liquor store and I picked up some 45% bourbon. And I went home, gargled with the bourbon, swallowed it, and then continued to, sip it throughout the night. The next morning I woke up, the sore throat was gone. Then it turned into a head cold. It was a head cold, but then the cough was later on towards the end. But the cough was just like a dry tickle for about 2 or 3 days, and that went away. But the head cold was there for a while, so I had something. It's about the same time you had it.
Yeah, well, whatever this crap was there, Blaine, I hadn't felt that way in 25 years, and fever that I couldn't break, wake up in the middle of the night and have to change clothes, and nothing tasted right, nothing smelled right. Didn't have a queasy stomach or anything like that, but I just didn't want to eat. I had to force myself to eat because I wanted to keep my energy up. And normally I drink a lot of milk. That just wasn't happening. Drink a lot of soda. That wasn't happening. So I laid on water and Gatorade, and I just got tired of the flavorless. So I put a bunch of vodka in one of them one night. Man, I slept like a baby that night.
We should go and have an antibiotic test to see if you had it, because the 4 of us here had it in February and March.
Yeah, and if you were losing sense of taste and smell, then I think you probably had it. So you're one of the survivors, man. Go get the antibody test.
Yeah, I thought about it, and I keep meaning to give my doctors a call and see what they say, but, in order to go and get it, I got to hang out with a bunch of people that probably have it. And if I didn't have it, does that mean I'm going to get it? See the conundrum?
If you go for the antibody test, you don't need a prescription anymore for your doctor. Even for the COVID test, you don't need a prescription anymore. You used to, but 2 weeks ago they changed it. You could just call you up to make an appointment, and it's a drive-up. You don't get out of your car. You can have the antibodies test or the COVID test.
Yeah, they stick a Q-tip up your nose or something.
Yeah, but the antibody test is a blood test. It's not a finger prick, it's a blood test.
She said prick.
You're incorrigible, Blaine. Well, cool, I'll have to check into that. It'd be interesting to know, if nothing else, for my own peace of mind. The weird thing, though, about it is that my wife didn't get it, so... But I don't know. But she comes from the dental industry anyway, so she has all that training with how to keep things clean and herself clean. She'll wash hands before preparing food. She'll wash hands after preparing food. The kitchen gets wiped down every morning, and after, it's just her routine. It's just her thing. So. She's not OCD neat freak, she's just clean.
Well, we were just talking that she could have had it but been asymptomatic, where she doesn't show any signs of it. And you could have either given it to her or you could have gotten it from her, because she goes out, I'm guessing she goes out a lot more than you because she's the driver. Well, you could have picked it up at work or something too, but, there's... so many possibilities that just go get checked with the antibodies. Both of you actually should go get checked. I don't think I've had, maybe I had it, I don't know. Maybe I just had a cold, but it was for about 2 weeks. I didn't feel nauseous, and I didn't lose my sense of taste or smell, but it could be different with other. They're saying that it's different with different people. So the symptoms I had may not be the symptoms you had.
N1 BCG. Where are the women at?
Hi to Clark, if that's Clark in there.
Y'all be gone.
I want you women.
Oh, did I miss it? Oh, well.
How much of it are women?
Clark, I thought you would have checked in with a falsetto voice or something. You're the man of all voices.
I don't have any voices that would have been appropriate for ladies' night.
You could have done Jeremiah Whalen.
Jeremiah Whalen, the fence maker. Now, why would he check into ladies' night?
To warn them about getting hypnotized by the Blu-ray.
Well, that would be. Listen, the way I look at it, it's ladies' night, and if they want guys to check in, they can ask for it.
But I'm sure they wouldn't have assumed anyone's gender.
Don't go there.
Assume my gender. Who knows?
Clark, say hi to Dawn. She's Mike's side with Blaine there, and Dawn, thanks for the information. We'll have to look into that.
Hello there.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, she goes, he sounds like you. Because I always say that. I always come in and go, hello. Yeah.
Is that Carrie?
Nah, it's just me now. KC2UDZ.
Hey, Ken. So did you enjoy the show?
Oh yeah, I was on the back deck. I was cracking up, man. I thought it was great.
Well, she sounded good all the way through. A lot of fun.
Yeah, she works well under pressure. You know, it's all good, man. Yeah, I think it's a great thing. I think it was awesome. The whole thing was great. I think it should continue. I like it.
Yep, and a lot of the ladies think the same thing there, so I'm sure if she has another one, they'll all join her. Two good turnouts. Next time, Dawn will warm up to them some more.
Yeah, I'm just hoping to keep she wants some alcohol, she'll be fine. She's all interested, you know. It's great. Take some thought, you know. I think it'll become a little more fluid after a while. I think it'll just be, a little interjection here and there, different topics, and you don't always have to follow a certain topic. You can always pull something in, just like we do on Break-In, But I think it went very well.
Yeah, they'll all get used to it. It's I don't know, it's a unique way of communicating, but it's the original social distancing, Tim.
I personally remember this being an old guy as the party line. I don't know if you guys are all young enough to remember that. You probably don't. But you used to pick up the telephone and, you make a call, and then all of a sudden there'd be other people on the line talking. Everybody'd be talking all together. It'd be like, and all of a sudden, oh, it's you. Hey, how you doing? And like three-way conversation. Somebody else pick up the phone. It's pretty cool. I like it.
There you go. Yeah, one of your boys was sick there for a little while. Is he good to go and back to work?
Jake. Yeah, he's fine. Yep, he's all good. He's actually over here right now, sitting in the living room. Stop by to visit Mom.
Very cool. All right, well.
Yeah, we're just working through. We had that failure of that equipment there. We lost the EQ. So I'm running old school right now. I got an old van hooked up. I whipped some setup on it quick, and it is what it is. I was listening on Perry's SDR. It sounded pretty good. Don't sound bad at all, so I'll make a couple of little adjustments on it, and I think she'll be okay with this one.
Yeah, I think it works fine.
Well, you don't know. You put a new piece of equipment in line, you don't know how the hell it's going to turn out. So it was. Luckily, it had been set up for the flex previously, running the flex by itself. So it seemed okay to just hook it up to the E-rig. So far, so good.
You think the Behringer can be fixed?
Well, what I'm doing right now is I'm collecting information, just how it sounds from people. And if I can at all avoid putting that digital piece of equipment back in line, then I'm going to not put it back in line. I'll use the old buttons and slides and stuff like that. That's what I'm going to do. So the Orband's old, but it still works.
And it actually really sounds good. You sound fine. So yeah, I'd say keep it the way it is.
Hey, Blaine. Yeah, you know how the digital stuff is. We got a surge, power surge, one off on, and it must have took one of the processors out in the digital section. I tried fixing the 8024 out of the part. Something's loading up the negative power supply rail, and I was messing with it because she had to get on tonight. And I finally gave up and said, what? I'm just going to hook the Orband up and we'll keep our fingers crossed and see if it works. So that's what I did. And this is the result of that. There's a lot of adjustments on the Orband. I don't know. I think I might just leave it alone. I'm going to listen to it. I really did. When I just put it on, it was like, talk. Just talk. See what happens.
Yeah, at home, at my house, I have UPSs on my computers and the audio equipment. Obviously, I don't run it on the transmitter, but I should get a little UPS here. For the audio equipment, a little 250 small little UPSs that sit on the floor would be fine. And that'll stop those transients if the power flickers or something from hurting your audio equipment.
Yeah, it's an afterthought now, It's too late. Although the digital display on the 8024 was getting washed out also, so it was hard to discern what the settings were. So you know what, it was time. It might even have done me a favor.
Yeah, but no, you sound good, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. You got it dialed in just right. Carrie sounded good, so I just hooked another limiter up to this transmitter here on the Valiant, so hopefully it sounded okay.
Well, I knew you weren't on the E-rig, but it sounds good. It sounds fine. For the Valiant, and like you said, I think I heard you say before it was 100 watts, and it's doing fine. You always have your audio is always good, so you always strive at perfection, like most people try to get it close, like me. But I know you go a little farther.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting one of those K7 DIYs for down here. So I get 160 and 80. It would work out nice. It would give me 350 watts of carrier, and it would work out really well. Much better than the Valiant. But I'm liking the Valiant. It's a good old transmitter.
I don't have a problem with the Class D rigs, but there's been a lot of problems with them in the past. I don't know if they didn't straighten out, but they seem to go back where they came from a lot. Send them back, have them fixed. But it's a nice thing about building your own stuff, because if it breaks, you put it together, you know how to fix it.
I think a lot of the problems with those is people running them. With the DIY transmitters, you really have to be very meticulous about your reflective power. Because if you don't, it's going to constantly kick out on you. If you go 2-to-1 or 1.5 to 1 SWR, that's fine. No, it's not, because when you get your audio peaks and you start modulating and you're swinging up to 1400, 1500 watts PEP, and then you got all that reflective power. It's going to kick back and kick that thing out. So you got to be meticulous with your tuner. And a lot of guys don't run the tuners, so they don't really monitor their reflected power. So you got to stay on top of that.
Yeah, a little more than a little more so than the E-rigs, I guess. I've run. In fact, my SWR right now isn't really great. Yeah, she ran it all night, no problems. These things are tough, man.
But they break if you do the wrong thing, just like anybody else. You run anything the wrong way, you're going to break it, but, you know. Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I don't know what they are. I know they're super seniors. They're that much money, actually. You just buy a Flex, man, and just, buy a Flex.
Yeah, but then you got to get an amplifier. And I was looking at the AL82. It's got a pair of 3500Zs in it. Brand new, those things are about $4,000. By the time you get it shipped and everything. I said, I'm not spending that kind of money on. That's ridiculous.
I got a nice BT, whatever this thing is here. I don't know, 41000 grounded grid tube. Make me an offer.
Just the tube or the amplifier?
It's a whole amplifier. It's a roll around. It looks like a, I don't know. What are they? 30? No, I don't know. I have no idea. It's a 41000 tube amplifier. LK, BTI, LK something or another.
Really? What bands does it have in it?
All the way from 10 to 80.
I might be interested. Yeah, shoot me an email or something. We'll discuss it off the air. That sounds interesting. A 41000. That should do the trick.
Yeah, it works. I never play with it anymore. I just, I had no, I'm not doing anything. It just sits here, gets in the way. It's from a smoking environment, though, unfortunately. But, you can clean it up.
That's okay. I got a smoker sitting right next to me.
Okay. All right. So you're good. Yeah, I'll shoot you an email or something. Yeah, whatever. Works. 220. Plug it in. Fire it up. And go. I think I remember if I used to run it with the Kenwood. Yeah, it'll do 300. It'll loaf at around 250, 300.
Yeah, because I was looking at the Flex 64 6500. I was thinking about putting that at my house and bring the 3000 down here, which is what I have now, the old Flex 3000. So that would work out too. And because I think the Super Senior K7 DIY is about $1,400 shipped. So it's not a bad deal, but I'd like to have a Flex because then it's a receiver, it's got the transmitter, it sounds good, and it'll do sideband too, so that's nice.
Yeah, the nice thing about them is the newer ones are internet. You just plug them right into the internet. You can remote from them. Simple.
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's I love my 5000, Terry's 5000, whatever. But I'm really digging the internet ready ones. I think they're great. Just in case you're driving around, whatever. You just want to get on and listen. Even if you just want to listen, man, you fire it up. You can sit there and listen.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because I want to get away from the FireWire. That's ancient technology. That's like on the way of the serial port and everything else. So it's time to move away from the FireWire.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's more digital stuff in our lives, but and possible failure. But I think Flex has got its act together pretty good, and I think they're pretty bulletproof. I mean, this thing's been, knock wood, I'm not going to jinx myself here, but the 5000's been like, I love this thing, man. I really love it. It's a great radio, even though it's a software-driven radio. I think it's awesome.
I'm running an SDR receiver here now. It's not an old one. I picked it up about a year and a half ago. I think it was like $199 or something. And it just plugs into the USB port. It's about the size of, it's smaller than a pack of cigarettes. And it's got 2 antenna jacks on it. Beautiful little receiver. It just sounds great. But nothing beats a Flex, man.
Yep, I really agree. Simple to use. Filters are phenomenal on these things. Anyway, I'll shoot you an email or something when I get a minute. I've been busy lately, but I'll get to you. Man, there must be having a party out there. All I hear is yelling from the other end of the house. Oh boy, here comes Carrie. Jake's here. I guess all our friends are having a party out there. Social distancing. And we're pushing the limits, I guess, but we'll be all right. That's it? Oh, okay. It's just Jake making all that noise. All right. They're having a party. It's just my one son. Holy crap.
All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. We're going to go climb into bed, put the TV on, and do some Netflix binge watching for a while. So catch you all tomorrow. It's good hearing you on, and Carrie, good job with the ladies' night. So what is it going to be, like another couple weeks before you have another one?
Yeah, he probably can't hear you because it doesn't have a lot of gain in the mic right now. But she's talking about every couple of weeks. It seems to be working out. I think they're enjoying it. So